Check me out now. Return of the smooth operator. Shotty on repeat. I say sleep later. This another favor. Consider me your neighbor. Lost a lot of fam in pursuit of the paper. She gon' catch the vapors when we slide by. The way I speak my mind, it's like I peak my prime, but I ain't close. I cruise through the night air. Fantasy a dream. Real world is a nightmare. Like Claire battling the brainless. Learn to live shameless. Talk about me alive, but claim that I'm nameless. You aimless. So I'ma style on them. They washed up. It's a rap. Throw the towel on them. Gaining miles on them. Otakus for the win. Tacos, it depend on the mood that I'm in. Like Finn when it's time for adventure. This some new blue. Get ready to enter my mind for a few. Come and take a ride with the crew. I'ma show you how to recoup days lost when you vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the blue. Yeah. About time to regroup. Fly, got my eyes on the view. Never hear lies, only truth. Realize why they vibe with the blue. 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 I'm talking about vibe with the blue. Vibe with the vibe with the sky. Wait, you know the rest. I'm blessed. I see you frontin' like you ain't impressed, but I still get requests. I'm playing Zelda on the GameCube. I quit spamming my music. Don't ever try forcing the links. That's a high rule. The wind waker, Mother Nature on my side too, controlling the elements. Go and check my avatar. I'm arrows ahead. Get the point. Moving forward. The battle scars accumulated over time are reminders of what I went through as a minor, but made me a grinder. The trees broke down for this loose leaf. If life's a game of death, I'm Bruce Lee. Ooh wee. Lose sleep on the regular, trying to get this word out. Then I crash Nebula. Wish I had a very odd parent, maybe two, but it's cool. Everybody pays dues. Now it's time to make moves. Granny didn't raise me to lose. Think I'm in the mood for a cruise. Wanna ride? Come and vibe with the blue. I'm vibe with the blue. I'm vibe with the blue. I'm vibe with the blue. Come vibe with the. Check this out, y'all. I'm back spazzing like the elderly. Worth of my cousin Beverly. Never swear away from the truth. Just ask Heather. Be weather, be tripping. Starting to look control like our destiny. Always give you the best of me until the death of me. My weaponry is a paintbrush. Hush, don't tell my secret. They get a hold of it. If you leak it, get it. It's cool. Got you covered though, look. But let me get back to that cool-ish Lucius. Why they still lying? They don't do this. Bad at board games. Whole world clueless. Selling their soul for Roof Chris. Who's this honored fella? Need a sliced extra mozzarella. Crew fly, let God propellers. Humanity born like they don't trust fun. Why you dodge the teller? You don't know, but my odds are better. Life's a gamble. Depending on who holding the cards. You can start living at large or it's bon voyage. Charge it to the game. Me and you ain't the same. I'm thinking bigger pictures. Why you still shrinking the frame? Ever blink in the rain? It helps when your eyes dry. Mob with the bright minds. Think you funny, wise guy? Midnight marauder with a new tribe. Tired of the fake. Come and vibe with the blue sky. Come vibe with the blue sky. I'm proud of you, try. We get them high. Take them high. What I do, come vibe with the blue. Yeah. Come vibe with the blue. Ash, what up? Vibe with the. Wise grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy. Man, dream on, yeah. Dream on, dream weaver.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's your boy Ernie, Blerd without fear. Carter presents in the building. What is going on with everybody? What's going on, peoples? We out here. We back. It's Saturday. Y'all know what time it is. Man, you know, I didn't think about Carter till literally just like a few seconds ago. It shows you how I don't do any pre-planning of any note.
What's that?
I don't prepare for things like this. This is the 150th episode of the Blerd Cave, I believe it is.
Man, I've been out here a minute.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I was like literally sitting there, I was like, oh shit, it is 150. Yeah, this ain't like Marvel or DC where like you get the 75th, the 50th, all that shit. They're like, oh no, we gotta do something special. Nah, I didn't think of anything. But I can tell you what we are gonna be talking about. We will be talking about that Moon Knight. We are gonna be getting into some Moon Knight, fighting evil by moonlight. Acting crazy by daylight. That is what I can promise you. We'll be talking about Moon Knight. We will be talking about Ezra Miller's wild and crazy kid's ass. Because he out here fucking up. And there is some misinformation. This is what I always tell people, man. Don't try to ever be first to bust out any reports on anything, because all them folks that busted out the reports, they have quickly been refuted. So now everybody's out here looking stupid. But we'll also be talking about some Wesley Snipes news. We got some Wesley Snipes news. He's out here. And got something interesting going on. I think y'all will definitely want to hear about. Got some Kraven the Hunter news regarding some shenanigans he's about to get into in the comics.
Why has he gotten a buff recently?
Because you know that movie coming out.
It's not even like a move bust. It's just exposure buff.
Yeah.
Just from fighting Valkyries, all of a sudden he's gonna be in Spider-Man 2.
he got Elektra.
Yeah, we got Elektra. He sure shit was an Elektra, and then it's gonna be the stuff we're gonna be talking about later on. What is this character buff?
They getting him ready.
That's basically Kraven is literally Clayton from the Disney Tarzan movie. That's all Kraven is. Kraven is Clayton.
I mean, you know what? I never thought about it that way, but now that you said that, I will never be able to look at Kraven the Hunter any other way.
Dude, every time I used to play Kingdom Hearts and get to that Tarzan level, I used to whoop Kraven's ass in that game. That Keyblade put work on Kraven the Hunter, dude.
I mean, look, you ain't wrong. I mean, here's the thing. Oh, I almost forgot. We got America Chavez. We got some America Chavez news regarding America Chavez creator. Oh, and Thor news. We got some Thor news. So yeah, we got a lot. So you know what? I'm gonna say fuck it. Actually no. Before we get into it, I actually do want to address, because I think we got a question. We got a super chat in here already from the homie Gokhan Shuri's baby's father.
Yeah,
out here. Says, is this the end of Choke a Bitch Miller Flash? Find out next time on Blerd Cave Z. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of high-key dug that. I wish I would have, caught it before. Sometimes I wish I would have read these things, before I actually, start, because about halfway through, I was like, oh, shit, this is where it's going.
Yeah. If they do give him Le Boot, it's kind of funny considering who they didn't.
Oh, talking about Amber Heard's.
I wasn't gonna say it. That's how Candyman come get you. You know, Candyman love the white women, so nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Look, you say Amber Heard's name 5 times in the mirror, like that, she show up and beat the shit out you.
I saw a video from from Jeremy Johns.
Mm.
It was funny because he was reviewing the new Fantastic Beasts film, and he was talking about, you know how in the movies where like someone's defusing a bomb and they have to decide between the red wire or the blue wire. It seems like in this case, Warner Brothers got rid of the red wire in the case of Johnny Depp when they should have cut the blue wire, which is Ezra Miller.
It's like, wait a minute, we canceling who?
Yeah,
we canceling the man that got his ass beat, is what you're telling me.
Exactly, and I didn't even realize. Apparently, Disney came out and apologized to him.
Wait, to Johnny Depp?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
This is just what I saw in a video, and I saw someone else reference it in an article I was reading. But apparently, they came out and apologized. I don't know how true that is, but I was laughing at that video. But yeah, it's like you got rid of the blue wire when you should have got rid of the red one. And Ezra Miller. So.
Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't that about a bitch? But I mean, yeah, nah, dude, shit's fucking crazy. You can't make this shit up sometimes. But no, so we've got, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into this Moon Knight, man, because there's some shit I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you. I don't know about you, okay, Carter, but I know it was this way for me. When they made the announcement of Moon Knight, and yeah, I was already excited. You know, I was just way too into it. Like, I was just like, oh man, all the things that I've always wanted are coming to the MCU. And now one of the, like, this other thing that I've always wanted, it's in the MCU now. But the thing I was always curious about was, man, what are they going to do with Mr. Knight? Like, are they going to put Mr. Knight in this? Then we got confirmation Mr. Knight was going to be in this. And then I thought they were going to make us wait, Carter. I thought they were going to make us wait. They didn't make us wait.
They couldn't make us fucking wait. Yeah,
no.
6 episodes.
Yeah. Well, you know, like, it was one of those things. I thought we wouldn't see Mr. Knight till, like, episode 3 or 4. They're like, no. Get him in here. Get his ass in here. Get your ass out here so we can see some Mr. Knight. And then next thing you know, bam, he's in it. And okay, they did this a little differently, by my recollection. But for those unfamiliar, Mr. Knight, one of the personalities of Mark Spector. Whereas Mark Spector is the more grim, dark, like traditional vigilante superhero, Mr. Knight has a tendency to go a little, I don't want to make it sound like he's Deadpool, but like, if you, like, you know those Moon Knight memes that we always see on the internet, where Moon Knight's just saying all kind of ridiculous shit, and it's stuff that Moon Knight did not say in the comics. You're more likely to get that shit from Mr. Knight. More recently. But like, Mr. Knight used to be, he used to be kind of serious as a heart attack, and then over time they kind of changed him. He's become more lighthearted. Now I will say, under Jed McKay, he's kind of going back to those roots, but he still every once in a while has a tendency towards buffoonery. Like, I always tell people, one of my let me see if I can find it. I think I actually have it on deck right here. One of my personal favorite instances of Moon Knight. Let me see if I can actually get this to show up. This is actually, let's see if we can minimize that a little bit. There you go. Oh wait, hold up, let me clear that out too. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, one of my personal favorites is from Damnation. Mm-hmm. It's like, for those who remember, there was a scene where Wong is going out and he's recruiting people for what is ostensibly the Midnight Suns. It wasn't ever referred to as that, I think, during the comics run, during that story arc, but post Damnation, about every other time it comes up, people refer to them as the Midnight Suns. And like, yeah, Wong's like, hey, Moon Knight, I need your help. We got to save Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. And Moon Knight's like, nah, I'm busy. I gotta go. My people need me. And then literally in the next panel, now bear in mind, Moon Knight has jumped off the fucking ledge of the building. He done left Wong high and fucking dry. And here come this fool. Literally the next panel, he is right behind Wong, talking about, I'm in. Ain't got the suit on anymore. He's got the Mr. Knight garb on. And they're just like, dude, that's actually one of my favorite things, because I was always like, how would you depict that? Like in a live action setting. And now we know how they could do it. Because they have done it now. But yeah, so Moon Knight, we finally got to see the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Knight. And it was pretty legit. I was worried. I had huge concerns about how this character would be handled. And while there definitely are some changes, there's definitely some changes in this motherfucker. I'm actually okay with them. What about you, Carter? What did you think about how they changed Mr. Knight?
Well, I was really excited to see how they would do it, because in my head I still have the Ellis issue in my head of him fighting his way up the apartment complex. I had just recently reread those Ellis issues, and I was really giddy, because one way to describe Mr. Knight was he needs to get his hands dirty against regular ass people. You save the capes for the villains. You know, you do the hero villain stuff. That's when you bring that cape out. You need to stand at attention without the other heroes. Well, he just needs to get those hands dirty, bring out those excrement sticks, and it was time to punch in. That's when Mr. Knight came out. He rolled those sleeves up, and it got to work. The fact that in this he was a fucking goof, because like my heart dropped, because I'm like, okay, oh my God, he slapped the shit out of that pole. Mr. Knight, oh, somebody's about to die. And then he immediately falls over. I said, Jesus Christ. Then when Mark is looking at him like, what the fuck are we wearing? And then he called him a crazy Colonel Sanders. And I was just like, why, dude?
But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we've seen the scene where like he falls out of the window.
Yeah.
We've seen that scene. Actually, we've seen an edited version of that scene in the trailers, because they show us the fall. They do not show you him smacking his head on that pole. And then you see that motherfucker drop when he hits the ground. He's got the superhero landing. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit, this looks badass as fuck. And then, but when you get to the actual show, they like, nah, that motherfucker was like, that dude smacked his head on the light post and fell out.
Yeah. But yeah, them turning him into a goof, I'm not gonna lie, it rubbed me the wrong way. But it's fine, you know. Yeah. Somebody in the chat said MCU got an MCU. You're right. And, you know, this isn't what I read. This is not trying to be what I read. So once you accept that, yeah, it should be relatively fine, you know. I was actually surprised you didn't ask me what I thought about Khonshu recently. I don't like the Venom vibes that you've gotten from Khonshu. And the only reason I say that is just because of he's talking in his head, but it's really insulting, and it's almost like they're going back and forth like a married couple, which is how Venom is. But again, it's not trying to be what I read. It's trying to be what I saw. And what I see in the comics is Mr. Knight. What I've seen in the comics from the Ellis stuff was how Khonshu looks the way he does in the show now. So,
I mean,
honestly, you have to accept quite a lot when watching this show. You have to come to terms with the fact that this is not going to be what you read. I just remember being annoyed but laughing when he landed and then just
fell over.
I was just like, no, man.
I totally get where you're coming from, though. I do totally get where you're coming from. Because it was as into the show as I am, it was jarring for me at first. But the thing is, the way they're doing it now, it makes sense. Like, okay, if Mr. Knight was acting this way in the comics, I would find it concerning.
Yep.
But the thing is, this ain't the comics. They've done this differently. Mr. Knight isn't just another personality of Mark Spector. Like, they've changed the way these personalities work. Technically, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight are still personalities of Mark Spector. However, the way they're doing it is that so when Mark Spector is the one that's in control of the body, when they were doing the whole thing, he was like, hey, let me take control because I can help you. It was one of those situations, if this was the comics, Stephen Grant could have just as easily done what Mark Spector did. Because once again, it's just a personality. He could have just been like, all right, cool, I'll just surrender control to Moon Knight. But that's not what this was. What they did is they changed it to where Mark Spector, when he is in control of the body, he becomes Moon Knight. The thing that when he summons the suit,
the armor of Khonshu.
Yeah, the armor of Khonshu. He becomes the fist of Khonshu.
Yep.
He becomes Moon Knight as we know him from the comics. Whereas when Steven, when he is in control, he summons the armor a different way, which is why you got this situation where like he's all like, oh shit, I'm in the suit, and yeah, I got like he's got, because in his eyes, when he thinks of suit, this is what he thinks of. He's not thinking about some traditional Egyptian armor. He's thinking
weird how Mark is asking him like, what are we wearing? And he said, well, you said suit, so I did suit. And if that's the case, why would you still have sticks?
Well, that was the thing. Well, okay, so here's the trip. We didn't see those sticks before. We didn't see those. We didn't see them. Well, I mean, of course, the sticks or something from the comics, but like,
I got you on the show.
On the show, we didn't see them. So those are more associated with his Mr. Knight, which I mean, he uses them as Mr. Knight, but like, it was strange because, and while I won't lie, this was probably the closest thing we'll ever get to. Well, technically, we have actually gotten a live-action Bleach movie, but this is the closest thing you'll get to seeing Bleach in the MCU, because the whole time this was going on, Mr. Knight is fighting one of those jackals.
I didn't understand what you meant when you said that.
Yeah.
Until okay.
Yeah, because I said it to one of our homies, Nick from Nerd 901. I had said this to him the other day. I was like, man, yeah, this is almost like Bleach. And he was like, huh? And I was like, just you go back and watch the episode, you'll get what I'm talking about. But like how nobody else could see what he was fighting except him. Like, nobody could see the jackal. Not even Layla, who was keenly aware that some fuck shit was going on. She didn't even know. She couldn't see it at all. Like, when she was swinging at it and trying to hit it, she was basically having to go off of where it was in relation to Mr. Knight. But I liked the fact that they did allow him to be powerful. Like, he is... Like, because sometimes Moon Knight is just a regular dude in a suit. It really depends on who's writing.
He really depends on who's writing.
Yeah.
Really depends on who's writing.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, he was, like, honestly, when people say, oh, he's just Batman. He's just Batman in a white suit.
Like you brought it up last week when you were talking about the Bendis run. Like, every iteration we've seen, it's more Stephen Grant, Mark Spector. I can't remember the captain.
Oh, talking about Jake Lockley.
Thank you. But then you go back to the Bendis stuff. Not only does he have these personalities, this motherfucker got Avengers running around his head as well. So like he really, really depends on the writer. So yeah, that was this episode proved your point more than anything, because now we got a different writer that's going this route.
They're kind of taking what I think what they're doing is, I feel like they're taking the best parts of Moon Knight. Like they're taking the best parts of Moon Knight and they're kind of throwing them into a blender, hitting puree, and just letting the chips fall where they may. I'm into it. I'm into it. Here's one thing I'll say, and I know some people may not like this, but this episode made me more confident that Deadpool will be okay in the MCU. Because honestly, that's kind of what this episode, at least that back part of it, reminded me of. It reminded me of something you would probably more attribute to like Deadpool. But with that said, one thing, yeah, you brought up Khonshu. And yeah, I will say the whole back and forth between Moon Knight, Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, and so on and so forth, and Khonshu, that part I wasn't expecting to be as prevalent. I mean, because they do talk to one another in the comics, not this extensively, but I won't lie, I kind of like it because otherwise Khonshu becomes a forgettable, I don't want to say foil or antagonist because we haven't gotten that far yet, but you know, Khonshu is usually the one who is always kind of abusing.
Well, you got a bit of that in this episode toward the end where he was basically like, you don't run this like you think you do.
Right.
This is where we're going. Like, I'll run the show. So we did get a bit of that.
Yeah, he pulled that he pulled that scene and he was like, I'm the face that runs the place.
Exactly. Like, you think you're doing this, like I still won't take your wife regardless.
Oh yeah.
We going this way. Like, what do you know, what the hell you think we're going? And then just immediately just boom.
Which it does make sense as to why Mark is so adamant about doing what Khonshu wants, because at first it just kind of seemed like, because that's the thing about, okay, so the thing about Mark Spector, especially recently, Mark is not that crazy about doing Khonshu's bidding anymore, at least now in the comics. And in the past, in the comics, Khonshu has done Mark super dirty, like mega ultra dirty. So like, you know, so it's not hard to believe that, like, if we got to the MCU version, Mark Spector would kind of be like, I gotta do shit you say.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, fuck you, dude. You ain't shit. You ain't shit to me. But that's not what we're doing. But like, he's actually 100% bought in on what Khonshu's doing. But now we know why. Because he's like, nah. He's like, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Pretty much.
Mark's like, nah, I'm Mr. Or the Khonshu's like, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. I do like, though, how... Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm curious about your opinion on this, Carter. How'd you feel about how Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow, that dude talking so dirty about Khonshu, it wasn't even funny.
It almost made it seem, and somebody else said it in chat, the ninja saying it in chat, he had me thinking he was the good, Ethan Hawke was the good guy for a second. And I think that says a lot about the script, and I think that says a lot about his acting. Yes. And even though we saw him mark an old lady,
and he took out a homeless dude.
Yeah, he took out a homeless dude. He marked an old lady. He put some glass in his Crocs and went to walking, even though we saw all that prior. Even though he's sicked a damn Anubis from the original Brendan Fraser Mummy on Moon Knight. Even though he did all that one conversation made it seem like, damn, worry. He might still be a real one. No. He's still a bad guy. That's one of the highlights of it, is showing how great he is as an actor. It shows how great he is, or how great the script for his character is, that you can think that for a second.
Right. One thing is, a villain,
you almost want to buy in, and you almost want him to balance the scales on you and hope it don't go the wrong route. So.
Look, you look at the crocodiles swinging back and forth in your hands. But no, it's cool though. I like it. I like this because a good villain always thinks they're the hero of their own story. They always feel like they're doing what's right, and that's like art. Like, once again, and I think this is, and I remember reading and seeing interviews with Ethan Hawke where he's like, "Yeah, dude, I just really like the script because, you know, this guy wasn't a mustache twirling villain. He was like, he felt like a real living, breathing person, and then he had gravitas. And now we know why he feels that way, because Arthur Harrow, you do kind of sympathize with what he wants, because, okay, so let's explain what it is he wants, because, you know, he technically says it in the first episode.
I had your job.
Yeah, he's like, I used to be the fist of Khonshu. I used to be his avatar. I know all about this guy.
We used to work at GameStop too.
Right. He's like, I've been where you've been, brother. I used to have to slang them reserves too. But no, dude, now you just said that shit, I'm forever gonna be thinking about this shit as like a former GameStop employee versus a current GameStop employee, and Conchu sitting here, man, what's your numbers looking like?
Yeah, let me guess. Conchu was saying something about getting that Game Informer subscription, huh?
Yeah, look, why did we just turn Conchu into Carmen Meacham? I'm just saying. But no, to get back to it though, Ethan Hawke's character is basically like, I used to be his avatar. I know everything that he's saying to you right now, even though I no longer have a connection to him. He's literally telling him everything that Khonshu is saying to him at this moment. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, oh, he's probably saying this. Oh, he's probably saying that. Oh, he's probably telling you how you have to do this and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and he admits, he says, I can't hear him, but I know how he thinks. But the thing is, Ethan Hawke's character of Arthur Harrow wants to do Amanet's bidding because Amanet, she gets rid of evil before it happens. So basically, this is the ultimate Minority Report.
Yeah.
This is Minority Report on an Egyptian god level. And they actually do pose the question. Steven even posed the question, well, what if the person that hasn't that you encounter that's supposed to do great evil in the future, well, what if they're a kid? What if they're a baby? Are you just going to kill a kid, or is everybody on board with this? Like, he's asking the questions no one else is willing to because they're so caught up in what he's offering. And I mean, it's cool. What he's offering is like kind of not bad. Like, I mean, from a community standpoint, like where he's bringing communities together, like we're looking at it. This dude has literally brought together an entire community of people from different walks of life, different colors, different creeds. Yeah, and everybody is living in perfect harmony with one another. Except,
if you all like this portrayal and you all kind of understand how his POV of how he feels things should go, you can't say anything about Carol Danvers in Civil War II anymore, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
You can't do that anymore, right?
Well, yeah, because honestly, this is the same thing. It's the same thing. As soon as Steven brought up, like, well, what if a kid did this? But what if this person did this and they didn't do it yet? That was the first thing popped in my head. So I'm like, ooh. So people finna get called out. Yep. Oh, no. That was like literally the second that he said, like, because Khonshu's even in the background at a point where he's like shouting at Steven, like, no. He's like, he's like, I wait until true evil has actually been done. He's like, I don't punish people who haven't done anything wrong yet. And okay, and how we were just talking about how, man, is Ethan Hawke the good guy in this? And we've been kind of getting vibes that Khonshu might actually be on some fuck shit in this. But this is one of those situations where Khonshu is like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he's not so bad. Maybe because he's saying, no, Amanet punishes people who've done nothing wrong yet. She punishes people before they're given a chance. And he's like, I punish only the people who truly deserve it. And it's like, I like this. Now, there is one thing I'm not crazy about, and it has nothing to do with episode 2. It actually has what to do with a dangerous trend that Marvel Studios has been doing lately with these Disney Plus shows. It backfired horribly with WandaVision, and kind of soured me just a smidget on WandaVision. And what I'm talking about is telling us that something big is going to happen well before it happens. Like saying, oh, episode this something crazy is going to happen. There's going to be a total mindfuck moment. Well, now, what if it's not the mindfuck that they like case in point, Hawkeye's a good example of when this was done right. They actually did tease. It was technically a slip up, but they did tease, oh, there's going to be something's going to happen in Hawkeye that's going to completely change how you look at the show. And it's like, oh, it actually happened. And they kind of slick did something like that with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That one backfired too. just like with WandaVision. And I'm assuming maybe Marvel has realized maybe we shouldn't overpromise and underdeliver. So maybe this will actually be what we think it is. But,
what have they said about it when it pertains to Moon Knight? Because this is news to me.
Yeah, so basically what they said was in episode 4, there's going to be a total moment. Like, you're going to be like, oh my God, this changes everything. Yeah. But we don't know what that is. Now, one of the things I'm wondering about is there are some people who said that, I don't have a shot of it, but towards the end of the episode, that the person you see at the end isn't Mark or Steven, because we know Steven is locked away. Steven got locked away, and Mark is the one that's in control by the end of the episode. But what they said was there were some people out there throwing out some theories that the person you see at the end, who is sitting in his drawers, drinking a hitting the bottle, doing exactly that, isn't Mark either. They're saying that might be Jake Lockley, but I don't know. I have to wait and see. That one's kind of, I don't know. We'll have to see. But
we haven't even seen episode. See, now sometimes shit like that will backfire because episode 4 is when the big shit happened. All right, I ain't gotta watch it this week.
Right? You can just wait. You just wait.
Like, why do that? Like, come on now.
It's like, no, go ahead. Just like, here's the thing. Let me be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing we talked about. What was it? This was what, 2 months ago? We talked about Hulk, where they were like, oh, Hulk's getting his own version of Null in April, and it's like, okay, I guess I'll just wait till April.
Even the fucking Marvel shows are doing goddamn solicits now. Yeah. Jesus Christ!
It's like, man, just let us fucking see this shit when it happens. But I mean, I will say, overall, episode 2, it maintained the same velocity. The same momentum of the first episode.
Yeah, even though I have my little issues, that stuff that rubbed me the wrong way, I'm still watching episode 3. Like, this didn't deter me just because there was one thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm still gonna watch the next episode.
Yeah,
especially with them being in Egypt. Now I got to see what we're gonna see now. So
I'm ready to see whether or not they actually do bring in Aminette. Like, I want to see if they actually do. Like I have a feeling we will see her. Probably in the same fashion that we see Khonshu. But
I want to see if they're gonna shy away from what made him snap in the first place.
I think we're gonna get that. I think we're gonna get it. Now here's something I've seen ahead a little bit. I haven't seen, like, there was a TV spot that came out the other day that I saw that kind of had a couple of choice bits in it that could potentially give some things away. I do know we're gonna be seeing Moon Knight and Arthur Harrow throw down. And it looks like some shit straight out of a fucking anime.
But the one thing I will tell people about Arthur Harrow, even though I remember the ninja was saying, man, they almost made him seem like the good guy. Here's one thing you have to take into the equation now. The man's not thinking for himself. First, he was thinking for Khonshu. Now he's thinking for a different Egyptian god. So he can't think for him being Arthur Harrow. He has to be somebody's minion. That's what you got to think about. That's what you got to think about. So
this is incredibly true. And I mean, here's the thing. Knowing a lot of the things that we know. And here, actually, I want to pull this up because I just think this shit's kind of funny. And I just kind of want to show it because it makes me smile on the inside. Seeing these motherfuckers fighting by moonlight. Literally by the pale moonlight. This is the type of shit that we can definitely expect to see here very soon. But I think we will see what's up with Khonshu as far as, I think we'll definitely see, the birth of Mark Spector's Moon Knight. I think we'll definitely see Khonshu and what maybe caused the rift between him and Aminette. We might even see what happened that maybe got them both cast out, because that's something that's brought up in the first episode, is that, Steven's talking about how, you only have 7 of the gods listed up on the banner, but there's actually like 9 of them. And like, he's like, well, what about the other 2? And like, but yeah, exactly. Fighting evil by moonlight. It's happening, y'all. It's happening. It's happening. Sailor Moon shows up everywhere. She's powerful, I tell you. Powerful. But only if you're a bad person. If you regular man and you ain't done nothing wrong, Sailor Moon can't do nothing to you. But no, dude, I'm not gonna lie. That shot that I showed where they're like running at each other, it reminded me, and I'm not gonna show it because I got in trouble last time over it, so I'm not gonna do it. But there's a thing. It was called Thunderbolt Fantasy. It's a puppet show that you can find on Crunchyroll. But it's a puppet show that's done in the style of an anime, but it's a puppet show. Like, it's a legit, actual, like, puppets. There's a scene just like that in that, and it's done really well. Like, it made me completely reevaluate how I look at, puppetry. But yeah, man, I'm into it, man. I'm really feeling this episode, and I kind of hope they can maintain this current trajectory. I want them to maintain this current trajectory, if at all possible.
I'm gonna need y'all to maintain these likes and keep them coming, people.
Oh shit, let's go. Can we make that a thing? Because I won't lie, I have not been looking, and I got concerns, man. We got almost 200 people in here. I got 64 likes, man. Can we bump that up? Can we bump that up, please? Please, thank you. I appreciate it from the deepest pits of my soul. But yeah, we got we got a question from Kemet Media with $1.99 super chat. Says, is it cheating on Mark if Layla gets with Steven? Since technically they are two completely different entities, it might be. Not
really, because it's the same schlong going in the same slot. So that ain't changed.
Well, you remember what we said about Wonder Woman 84?
That was possession, though.
Oh yeah, that is true. That was possession. Yeah, I take it back. No, it's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not trying to be dismissive.
Moon Knight stuff is a brain thing. Yeah, that was somebody else completely taking over someone else's body. That was Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh yeah, no, most certainly.
This is a mental thing in here.
Yeah, I will say though,
we all black when the lights go out.
That is true. Here's my thing with it. Man, if Layla pulled up on me, no matter what mind I was in, I'm like, nah, she can get it. She can get it. She good. But but no, yeah, I'm into it. I'm feeling it. As far as what to expect in the next episode, that's a whole other.
I'm thinking this next episode because they uploaded a clip on YouTube an hour or two ago. I'm thinking this is the episode that people they've been wanting, and what I mean by that is like these first two episodes we've gotten was a lot of Steven, and I think that's what really annoyed a lot of people. They wanted to get right to the shits. I think that's what we're gonna get in this next episode from the little clip that they put on YouTube recently. So
yeah,
I'm thinking this is gonna be the episode that everybody will kind of shut up and pay attention now.
Right. Oh yeah, this talking about dude, Vampire Hunter Greg. I'm out here. Dude, I love me some Thunderbolt Fantasy. That shit's good. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if y'all haven't done it, y'all need to go look it up.
Is it a train if personalities switch in progress?
God damn, motherfucker.
Danger.
Y'all really ain't shit. Y'all know that, right? Y'all
you
really
get applause for that one. Yeah. You get applause for that one.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. So what you're telling me is, like, mid-coitus, you just see that motherfucker get this face, that means he about to switch.
Okay. I heard this on a Big Boy album, Big Boy from Outkast. Okay. I preface this again by saying I heard this on a Big Boy from Outkast album. Sir Lucius Left Foot, really good album, by the way.
Yes.
He was explaining, or it was a skit where it was a buddy explaining what's called the David Blaine. Okay. Now, this sounds horrible when you think about it, but David Blaine is when you're giving a girl back shots, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're giving a girl back shots. That's how we start David Blaine.
Mm-hmm.
You give a girl a back shot. You know what? No, that's not the same thing. That is actually horrible.
Yeah.
We'll save that for a podcast. We'll save that for a podcast.
Yeah, save that for another time. I'm about to say, here we go, help me.
Danger.
We get deep. But no, but yeah, I think another thing we can look forward to, and I actually pulled this from one of the shots from one of the recent promos, is there's a shot where you can see Stephen Grant, like he's in the asylum. And I guess maybe this is their way of depicting, I don't know if this is their way of depicting him being trapped, like behind the mirror or whatever. But I like the fact that you can see the Moon Knight action figure right next to this dude. They got a Moon Knight action figure laying on the floor.
Oh my God.
Right,
I'm going to need y'all to chill in this chat because Roybot just hit it out of the park. What if Mark and Steven were to switch and then Kyle Schu's voice just came out of nowhere? Oh, look, the idiot has joined us. So all three of them just go.
Dude, bruh.
I got to stop. If I was able to stop myself, you all have to stop yourselves, okay?
We got to show restraint, y'all. We got to show restraint. Actually, you know what all this has made me wonder? Because, the other, about, was it a couple of months, a little over a month ago, was it Julio Gaspard, who is supposed to be playing Nightman, or Midnight Man, or something like that. I forget the actual name of the character. I'm blanking on it at the moment, but... So, basically, here, actually, I think it's Midnight Man. Is what I think it is. Yeah, Midnight Man. That's his name. Midnight Man. See, I know things. But Midnight Man is supposed to be showing up in the in one of the I think one or more of the episodes of Moon Knight, and he's supposed to be kind of. I wonder how they're gonna address that since the actor passed away. He had that tragic ski accident. And it's making me wonder, like, well, what are they gonna do with him now? Because I don't want him to wind up being like a one-off, which I mean he is gonna kind of have to be now at this point because the actor is no longer with us. But or maybe they'll recast him. I don't know. It's hard to say, but or maybe they'll remove some of the scenes out of just to not, which I think would also not be okay either. I mean, just leave the motherfucker in there. If he's in there, he's in there. But it's making me wonder if we'll actually wind up seeing him at all, or for how much we'll wind up seeing him. It'll be interesting to see.
I need y'all to stop this freaky foolishness and get these likes up. Daddy needs a new chair. Fuck.
He's like this motherfucker. He's like my chair, not my chair.
Oh, this is the one I told you Amazon fucked up price wise. That quote unquote gamer chair.
Yeah, I mean,
gamer chair. It was $180 that I got for $3. But it's been 2 years and it's on its last legs. I swear to God.
Dude, that motherfucker, you got all $3 worth out that motherfucker.
boy, like it's bad that I can't. You see how you sitting right now?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that because if I do that.
Oh damn! Yeah, I can hear that motherfucker like, dude. You can probably get some it's like some lubricant spray, like
gross.
I mean, I'm just telling you that shit. I don't know if I didn't go back and listen, but you could probably y'all could probably hear the last episode of the Blerd Cave. My computer was literally screaming at me because one of the fans in it was, I guess, going bad. And I actually had to take my computer apart to figure out that it was the fan. I mean, I knew it was the fan, but I didn't know like exactly how it was the fan. And when I took the fan out, I sprayed some lubricant in the bearings of the fan.
You gotta stop saying that.
That's what it is. I could have said lube.
I'm not putting KY. See, look. Herbert just said WD-40. You could have said that. I'm not putting KY on your damn shirt.
It wasn't called, well, I mean, okay, it wasn't called WD-40 when I used it. It was something else. But anyway, point of the matter is, you can use that And now, you do not hear my fan.
Oh no, I don't care about the creaking. The creaking makes me think I'm in like my granddad's rocking chair on the porch. I don't like the. It's just like I'm sitting.
Oh, you look like you about to fall out the chair. Yeah, you about to fall out that motherfucking chair right now. Right now. We got us a question here from Eric Morgan with the $10 super chat. Says, just checking in. I'm in Linwood, California at a youth track meet, and I swear the parents are smoking weed in the stands.
Doesn't surprise me.
Nah. I'm like, this tracks. He says, anyway. He said, I'm taking the over on Beast ending 2022 as a supervillain. Who wants in? For those who don't know what Eric is talking about, this is in regards to some of the things we've seen happen very recently in X-Force. And then, granted, X-Force over the course of like the last couple of years, but also X-Force as of this most recent issue. I believe it was the annual #1, as well as some stuff that happened in issue number 27. Beast is kind of on his worst behavior. Beast is on his worst behavior, and it's very concerning. It's very concerning. I know that there are some people who think that, he's not going to turn bad, but I think he is going down a dark road that you don't just very easily walk away from.
You know what'd be funny?
What's up?
Since the first issue of X-Men Red, it would be interesting if, since Storm is gonna have her Brotherhood, spoilers if you have not read X-Men Red this week, even though Ernie did a fucking video on it. Since Storm is going to be making her own Brotherhood, which I was not expecting that ending when I was reading it.
I was
not.
It would
be funny if Beast was to take over the OG Magneto role.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because when you say when I hear supervillain, I'm thinking like not mustache twirling, but you're trying to wipe out everybody. Beast isn't going to go that route. Beast does everything that he does, whether you like it or you don't, for mutants. So, and he's always been the one, if you read the recent issue of X-Force when he was going back and forth with Sage, he thinks they need that bastard. They need that bad man to do what they won't do, to not have a lot of red tape around them. So I could very easily see him just, I'm going to do what I can for you all. She's going to be a lot more ruthless about it. I mean, that's if you take him being the leader into the equation, and if you've read the logs in X-Force when it pertains to Beast, X-Force is basically his OG Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yes.
It's just they're not thinking that route. They're going on missions and doing as they're told. And who's telling them this? If they're just doing as they're told, Beast. So if you think about it a little bit, he's already OG Magneto. He just ain't wearing fucking purple.
Right. He ain't got the helmet fit on.
The eye just gone. His eye's gone, which was very gross when Abigail Brand
she wanted to poke her finger in it. Like, can I touch it? Like, I ain't gonna lie. The first thing I thought of was I was like, this is some don't touch my hair moment type shit, man. Leave that man alone. But you know they're about to get back together. You know they're about to get back together. You know that she is very likely manipulating him somehow.
Well, I wasn't even gonna say that. I was just gonna say it's gonna be funny. Apologize if you're playing fucking going over. It's gonna be funny just because both of these motherfuckers are scheming.
Yeah,
both of them are scheming like crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised if she brought him in on it, just because of their history and. Bitch, I'll let you touch my eye hole. Like, what's going on? Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if he joins in on whatever she's doing for the good of mutants. So
yeah, like if Abigail told anybody what it is that she's doing, I would bet Beast knows to some degree or another. It's like he'd be like, I did it all for love. Get the fuck out of here. But no, Ibrahim Robinson with the $5 super chat says, is there a certain way Moon Knight has to kill the Jackals, or am I misreading that? The thought of he said the thought of might was that Holy Ground may have been important. I mean, honestly, I don't think that it matters because he beat the brakes off that one.
This is a Disney Plus show, sir. This is a Disney Plus show. Thank you very much. There is no killing around these parts.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, we don't kill. We don't say the K word or the M word. No kill, no murder. But no, it's the thing that I don't think it matters about the Holy Ground. I mean, yeah, there is that part. And I think do I have it? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I have that shot. There is the shot where he's impaled him on one of the I guess was it like a steeple or whatever of the church. And I mean it looks awesome too, by the way. It's actually an awesome shot. The way that it happens too, but yeah, he literally beat one of those things to death in a museum bathroom, so I don't think it matters one way or the other. But let's see, we got another one here. Command Media with a $4.99 super chat. Says, I know these characters have to move forward, but no lie, I'm a miss Region of Soul Storm. Most fitting role for her. Here's the thing. I think she's still going to maintain that role. I just think she's not going to buy into the pageantry of it that she did before. She got rid of the throne. She destroyed the throne, of course. And maybe, who knows, maybe she will actually let the whole thing go. But I think she's going to try... here's the thing. Storm is going back to her roots. She's adopted a mixture of her classic Mohawk look from back after she came back from Japan with Wolverine back in, the late 80s, early 90s, something like that. And she's also kind of mixing in some of her other looks from the past in with it. I think what this is all indicative of is that she's going back to her roots and going back to doing things the way she used to do them, as opposed to she's trying to both appease Krakoa and appease Arakko. She's trying to do things the Arakkan way, but also doing them the new Krakoan way. But I think she's quickly realizing, no, the greatest hits are the greatest hits for a reason. We're going back to the old shit. And what that means going forward is going to be hard to say. But I did think it was very interesting, and I wish a little bit more time was given to this. But the character who she fought to become regent of Arakko, I thought was very interesting, because we get shapeshifters in Marvel Comics, not all the time, but more often than not. Typically, they can't just replicate the powers of other people or the memories of other people. Like we talk about the most obvious one is like a character like Mystique. Mystique can look like Storm, but she can't do what Storm does. Not like the powers and shit. It's like Wolverine. She can look like Wolverine. She can pop them claws out, but she doesn't have shouldn't have the adamantium bones like him. She just looks like him.
She doesn't have the healing either. I remember. No. I can't remember what book I was reading, but somebody tried to take his form and they popped their claws and then bled to death.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. So this the character who transformed into her, Nameless, that one was kind of interesting to me, because she seemed to have maybe not exactly the same full control of Storm's powers as she does, but she had access to the mugs. And she had, not that, but she also knew about Storm's past. Now, I mean, she could have just as easily, looked it up on Wikipedia or done a Google search or some shit. But, I mean, I don't think they got Google on Arakko. But, but I mean, I just thought it was interesting. She knew a lot about Storm, and she knew how to use her powers. That was pretty interesting to me. I feel like that's a character you can't just have hanging around a lot, because that's a walking Deus Ex Machina just waiting to happen. But as promised though, let's move on over. We're gonna switch over to talking about oh boy, Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is out here. Now, of course, we talked about this last week. There was the incident that he had where he had threatened to burn people alive. He had had outburst in a bar in Hawaii. He has kind of lost his whole goddamn mind. Yeah, as Ezra Miller is wont to do. But some reports recently came out. There were some reports that recently came out saying that Ezra Miller has been reprimanded by DC. He has been pulled into a room. They had an emergency meeting about his actions, his behavior, and supposedly some of his projects with them are being put on hold. All this other stuff. Well, let's go ahead and put that to bed. None of that is true. None of that is true. Ezra Miller is out here doing what he wants when he wants. Now, initially, I didn't want to make this I didn't want to try and compare this to some other things that are going on right now in the world of Hollywood, but it's hard not to, because we literally just got word on the street that Will Smith has taken a decade-long ban from the Oscars for slapping the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth on live camera in front of everybody. Everybody. Now, that is considered disruptive behavior. In the eyes of the Academy, in the eyes of a lot of people in Hollywood. There have been a lot of people coming out. I think once the smoke kind of cleared on all this, there were a lot of people who came out and were like, yeah, I don't agree with what he did. I don't agree with what he did. He shouldn't have done this. He shouldn't have done that. And, you can make your arguments one way or the other. My feelings about it, I've already talked about. My attitude towards it is basically this. I take the same thing Chris Rock said about O.J. Simpson, I will say about Will Smith. I'm not saying he should have slapped him, but I understand. It's just like, I get why he did what he did. Even if I don't agree with it, I don't. It is what it is. It happened. It's a thing, and we're kind of moving on from it.
I said this is all I'll say, because I said this to you before we started the show, and I see LJ Brown saying 10 years was too much. A year or two, yeah, but 10 years. Here's why that doesn't matter. I already got my Oscar. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna be doing movies. I'm still gonna be doing, whatever I'm doing that pertains to Bel Air. I'm still gonna be doing my social media stuff. My wife is still gonna be doing Red Table Talk, clowning me. I don't care. You can ban me for however long you want. I already know that at one point I was top dog. That's all that matters. It's like those people, like, let's take sports, for example. You can clown a dude who's on a bad team all you want, but if like you can clown LeBron James all day. Guess what though? Still got a ring. You know what I'm saying here? So it doesn't really fucking matter, man. That's just one night he can spend at the house now. Don't have to spend money on a suit. Don't got to do nothing. He can he can go to Pat McAfee route, tank top jeans, walk around the crib. He don't have to do anything.
Do what he wants.
He won the Oscar. Doesn't matter. So
it's the thing. The thing with me is, and I'm gonna tell you why. One, the main reason why they're not gonna do anything to Ezra Miller, despite the fact that there have been multiple reports that he was having meltdowns, not just on the set of Flash, but also apparently on the Fantastic Beast movie set. He's had constant meltdowns and freak out moments on the set that have made multiple people across both productions uncomfortable. Truth of the matter is, he's connected to both of these properties in very, maybe more so in the Flash's case, in very important ways. And they're not just going to kick it. Look, as crazy looking as this motherfucker is, they're not going to kick him to the curb. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And while, you're probably sitting here thinking to yourself, wait a minute, they kicked Johnny Depp to the curb just on allegations alone. No real actual evidence was provided to prove anything that Amber Heard said was correct. And in fact, there was plenty of evidence out there that proved that Johnny Depp was the one who was getting clowned and getting his ass beat. And that Amber Heard had no remorse about it whatsoever. However, Johnny Depp lost not one, but 2 major motion picture roles. He was kicked off of Fantastic Beast as Grindelwald. He was replaced by Mads Mikkelsen. And to my understanding, they've completely dropped him from Pirates of the Caribbean. So
Mads Mikkelsen is if anybody's going to take your spot,
Mads is the dude.
Because apparently from a lot of reviews that I've seen and that I've read, he is the only good thing in the new movie.
No, he is. Honestly, the Fantastic Beasts movies are kind of high-key trash. And that's even ignoring the whole stuff with J.K. Rowling. That's like, even if you ignore all of that. The Harry Potter franchise has been in shambles since after the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. So they just need to leave that shit alone. I think the video game they have coming out is going to be okay. I think it'll actually probably be really fun. But this Fantastic Beast shit is not the way.
It's bad when a man who has made you all $4 billion, you can just throw up the deuces on him. That's crazy.
Dude, right? He'd have made you some money. And here's the thing. Ezra ain't clucked y'all that kind of cash. And WB is basically saying, yeah, no. They haven't necessarily said they're not going to do anything to him, but they basically did come out and say that the reports about them doing something to him are incorrect, that they haven't done anything. And for the foreseeable future, while Will Smith slapped a man on live television and is being for 10 years from the Oscars, Ezra Miller's punk ass choked a woman, threatened to burn people alive, and has had all kinds of issues as of late. And this is still your Flash.
I really wouldn't mind seeing Johnny Depp in one of these Marvel or DC movies, to be honest. The last movie this man did was about Biggie and Tupac's murder. We need Johnny Depp in more movies right now.
Yeah, dude, right? Look, I'm like this. Johnny Depp is a great actor, and I think it sucks that he's, especially, and I don't want to get too deep off into this because the other day, the homie Robo Strange put me on game about something in regards to Jared Leto that I did not know. What? And it baffles me, absolutely baffles me, that a guy like Johnny Depp, an actor of his caliber, could be blacklisted from Hollywood just on hearsay.
Okay.
When there's actual evidence of people doing far worse shit. And I don't want to get too deep off into it because I don't want to get sued. Yeah, because we all know Jared Leto watches Blerd Cave. We all know this is a matter of public record. But I'm joking. I'm speaking facetiously in case no one could tell I was fucking bullshitting. But no, there have been allegations around, and from what I would say are very likely credible sources, that Jared Leto is a groomer, and that he might allegedly a groomer, and that he is allegedly a pedophile. Allegedly. I don't like throwing that word out willy-nilly, so I don't want anyone to go take what I said. I don't want anybody going out, running out, and saying, oh, Blur Without Fear. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. It's not for me. It's something that I discovered, and it was me and Robo were having a conversation about the Morbius movie, and he was asking me some questions about it because he didn't want to go see it, and I was just like, oh yeah, well here it is. I can just tell you what's up with it. And then he brought up the one thing. He sent me some links, showed me some articles, some videos, and these were credible sources. And my opinion of Jared Leto has changed dramatically as a result of that. Yes, famous Thanius actually brought up some of the other things that he runs a cult amongst some other sick behavior. Yes, these are all. Yeah, this is all encompassed within, because it's a cult built around his band, if I'm not mistaken. 30 Seconds to Mars. Once again, allegedly. Allegedly. Want to make sure I say this before we get sued. But yeah, the whole Ezra Miller thing, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Because I've had some people reach out to me on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is just a cry for help. Yeah, he's hurting. He's clearly dealing with some mental health." But here's the thing: nobody asked what kind of mental health Will Smith was dealing with when he slapped the fuck out of Chris Rock. So why should I afford? I'm not saying this should be an either or thing. I'm saying, but why are we so quickly affording Ezra Miller the benefit of the doubt? Is it because his behavior appears more crazy? Like his behavior appears more like a mental health issue than what Will Smith's was? Is that the framing that we're going with? But I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I see this face, and I don't see Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. I see Ezra Miller, the fastest motherfucker alive to choke a motherfucker. That's what I see. That's what I see. So, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But for the foreseeable future, we will very likely not be hearing WB, Warner Brothers saying those infamous words. Bye! We won't be hearing that. We won't be hearing that for Ezra Miller anytime soon. However, the Academy is more than happy to say that to Will Smith. So, take that how you want to. Anyway, that's more time than I actually wanted to spend talking about Ezra Miller's crazy ass. Let's move on to something that's actually uplifting. Carter, what has Wesley Snipes been up to lately? He's like, wait a minute, I gotta look. He's like, I gotta look, because shit, we don't know. he's like, I'm gonna take a sip. But no, Wesley Snipes, he's not really, I mean, he's been doing movies. He's been making appearances. He just hasn't been doing anything like major lately, but he actually has something coming up on the horizon that I am actually looking very forward to. He has a comic. Coming out. Actually, that's the wrong one. There, wait, where'd it go?
Why you being racist, Blerd Without Fear? You didn't say this about Keanu Reeves comic.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, no. Oh my God, this thing is actually being kind of silly. Okay, it's not actually doing this. I'm gonna take it down for right now.
What happened?
No, the lower third I made for this story it's not popping up. It's not populating in the thing. I gotta mess with it. It is what it is. I'm going to delete it and then re-add it because that's usually how these things work. Let's see here. And select. There you go. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if it actually does. There it is. So basically, don't do it when I have it open. Anyway, but no, Wesley Snipes has a comic coming out called The Exile, which looks pretty interesting. It's a comic that's actually going to be, as far as I am aware, it'll be co-written by Wesley Snipes, and it's going to be coming to Kickstarter. It looks interesting. The first thing you will probably notice about it is that the character, well, clearly a black man, very likely modeled after Wesley Snipes, and at least the surface level, you could easily say bears some modicum of a resemblance to Blade. If for no other reason, it's a black dude with a fade and a black trench coat. No sunglasses.
Detective Niles Washington, a.k.a. Roach, which is a very nasty name.
I always find it funny when there's when people in comics, movies, TV, or whatever media, when they're nicknamed Roach. I'm always like that's the and it's a name you actually go by. I'm like, okay.
It's like dude off of the Cosby's. I can't remember his son's name. The son's friend.
Oh, okay.
Cole from Martin. That was before he started on Martin. His name was Roach.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which, I mean, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, I guess. But basically, the press release is Gifted Rebels and PCB Entertainment announced today a partnership with Wesley Snipes and his Mandy House Studios to collaborate on the creation of a new graphic novel, The Exiled, which follows Detective Niles Roach Washington. That was a nasty sounding name. Anyway, as he pursues a serial killer in the aftermath of a deadly gas attack. The killer is ripping the spines from his victims and using tools over 5,000 years old. The world outcasts Roach for his theories, but his instincts keep pushing him forward. With enemies on all sides and within, he wades into the darkness to find the killer and uncover Earth's darkest secret. Okay.
Now, I'm gonna just say this one thing that just irks me.
Yes.
But then I'm gonna leave it back to you.
Okay.
And I know he hasn't done a lot of films recently. You know, I've seen him in Coming to America, Dolomite Is My Name, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from the other side of the spectrum, you got John Wick and you got the recent fucking Matrix Resurrections. But why is something that's tagged with Wesley Snipes not on Boom, Image, Valiant?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it Kickstarter?
Yeah, a part of me is wondering this as well. This is actually something that kind of crossed my mind. I'm glad you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. John Leguizamo's, was it Phenom X, which was, I think, on Image?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that went to Kickstarter. I don't believe. I could be wrong. I could be speaking entirely out of turn. But, now, okay, I will say this. If this goes the Nocturna, or not Nocturna, Noctera route, which is the book by Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
Because that did actually, I think, go to Kickstarter. And then it got picked up by Image. So maybe this might be the case. Maybe it might be one of those deals where, depending on how good the book does, Image might step in, or maybe Boom, or AWA Upshot, or Valiant, Dynamite, somebody will come in and be like, hey, can we pick this up? Maybe that'll be what happens. But yeah, you would think that a guy with the cachet, the name recognition that Wesley Snipes has, you think that, a studio would have already approached him and been like, hey, because now granted, don't get me wrong, Keanu Reeves is, by all accounts, by today's standards, a bigger star than Wesley Snipes is today. That doesn't change the fact that Wesley Snipes is not still a star. So I get why they just gave Keanu Reeves Berserker, which I think also did Kickstarter first. Maybe. I don't know. I could, once again, I could be speaking incredibly out of turn. But I'm actually pulling this up right now just to see. I want to see okay, no.
Okay,
Wesley, no. They did do Kickstarter.
They did
do Kickstarter. So there you go. I changed my opinion entirely on this. So maybe, okay, there you go. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say. So yeah, I guess I get it. Maybe they want to see what happens. So maybe Image will come in. Maybe, some other studio come in and pick it up. But I do kind of feel like, man, this would be a missed opportunity for a studio to get on the ground floor with this. But I guess what they'll do is use the Kickstarter to be kind of like, oh, well, let's see what's the interest in this. But yeah, so yeah, that's a thing. I'm interested in it just because this is something that is from Wesley Snipes' mind. He created this. He is, I don't know to what extent that he did this, but basically what it says is the story was created by Wesley Snipes, Keith Aaron, and Adam Lawson. Adam Lawson is going to be the one who is doing the actual script of the comic, with Gabriel Esquivel Santos doing art, Valentina Bianconi doing the colors for it. So basically, this is actually very similar to what actually happened with John Leguizamo in Phenom X, because he doesn't actually write Phenom X 100%. He just helped create the concept and the story of it. Wesley Snipes seems to be in about the same boat here, where he's not actually writing every issue. He's just the guy who helped create this, put his name behind this to maybe help boost his signal. So whereas maybe
kind of like the CM Punk, what the fuck was his name in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Talking about Drax.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of
very similar.
That thing. Okay.
Very similar. Once again, I want to pull this up because I want to show. It looks like it could be interesting. I've read crazier stories.
Mm-hmm.
I have read crazier stories, not just from Image, but AWA Upshot, Dynamite, Boom Studios. I have read some wild-ass fucking stories from books that should not be good, but they actually are. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, maybe. Because, I don't know, Carter, did you keep reading Berserker? Is anybody reading Berserker? Because I fell off of it after issue 1 just because... While the story seemed interesting to me, it just didn't seem like something I'd want to read long term.
Yeah, but I'm because Amelia Clark did a comic with
yes, she did actually
called Mom, Mother of Madness, where
which I've actually heard is good. Okay,
the only thing I know about it is, and I don't want to take that at face value because I've recommended Sex Criminals on here several times, and if I tell you the premise of that shit, you're gonna look at me like Carter, you're tripping.
Yeah,
but like I think in that book, the woman gets superpowers every time she menstruates.
Yeah, that's it's her powers are tied to her PMS. Yeah,
so there have been crazier things that have gone to one of the endings. So
I mean, honestly, the premise of a lot of the stories that I read that I love, hell, Refrigerator Full of Heads should not work. But it's fucking good. It's fucking good. It's so good. It's about an axe that it cuts people's heads off. It doesn't kill them. They stay alive.
That reminds me of that. It reminds me of that Ryan Reynolds movie when he was crazy, but he was like a serial killer, and he put all the people's heads in the fridge, but they were talking to him.
Was it Voices? That movie was wild. It gets really weird. It kind of begs you to suspend your disbelief, but it actually is. It's a very interesting movie. I saw it a ways back. I actually kind of want to go back and watch it again, because you know what it is. Ryan Reynolds in that movie is not being Ryan Reynolds. At least,
that was
not as much. Not as much.
It wasn't early Ryan Reynolds. That was quiet Ryan Reynolds.
This was actually roughly around the same time as Deadpool, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like a little bit before that.
Yeah, a little bit before Deadpool. So yeah, I mean, Ryan Reynolds is going to be Ryan Reynolds, but he's not being Ryan Reynolds the way he's normally Ryan Reynolds in that movie. He's actually kind of terrifying. And I wish more people would have seen it because maybe he would be inclined to do more different shit. But neither here nor there. But yeah, so there you go. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. And I 100% agree. Robo saves because Keanu Reeves and Team Prove will pay for it. That's what it is. That's what they want. Basically, a studio will stay away from a project. I've seen this even with other like indie comics from people who aren't well known. They'll basically kind of be like, let's see if people actually buy this shit. And then if they see people are getting behind it, the studio will come pick it up. So there you go. Not Terra. Scott Snyder proved that people would buy Not Terra just based on Kickstarter success alone, and now it's an Image comic.
Oh no, I think that was more Scott Snyder and Capullo though.
Not
Capullo. That wasn't Capullo. I mean, I think that's his name.
Well, yeah, it's Scott Snyder's name that sold it, of course. Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm just saying that like he put something out on Kickstarter and everybody was like, "Ooh, we want more of this." And Image was like, "Oh, y'all buying this?" Which
is crazy because Jimmy Palmiotti, they've put several books on Kickstarter.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like I think people just pick and choose. I think they just pick and choose.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they pick and choose.
By the way, All-Star Western. Y'all go read that.
All-Star. Oh yeah.
New 52 All-Star Western. That had a long run. That was all Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
That shit was fun.
I think that's the most Jonah Hex we got in a long time.
Yeah. They had to get that. They had to get the memory of the movie out of people's head, which wasn't that bad, to be honest with you.
You know what it is? You know what it was? The movie. Okay, that movie was basically, what kind of Jonah Hex are you looking for? Are you looking for the classic Jonah Hex? This is just a straight up Western. Or are you looking for the Jonah Hex that has a little bit of magic in it, has a little bit of like steampunk, whatever? Yeah.
Had it come out during Wesley Snipes' Blade stuff, I don't think nearly many people would have complained about it.
No, I don't think anybody would have said shit.
They would have said that movie was just as fire as Blade was on. What? Not. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Had it come out in that time, there wouldn't have been nearly as many complaints.
No, not at all. Let's go ahead and push on along. Let's get on to we got Kraven is coming to X-Force. Kraven the Hunter, like we were talking about earlier, Kraven getting the buff. He's getting the Roman Reigns push. He's getting the Roman Reigns push.
I didn't realize you were gonna say X-Force. I'm thinking any other book other than, why would you fuck with mutants right now, dog?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Nobody knows why he's included. Basically,
they putting that motherfucker in every. He got a buff, dog. He got a buff.
You remember how I said earlier how I don't know if we were talking. I think this was before we went live. I said that Morbius. If you go back and read Morbius's comic book history, that motherfucker just shows up in books he ain't got no business in.
Yeah, we were talking about my recommended this week.
Yeah, like, so there's a book, and y'all, if you've seen my video for Morbius, then you probably already know this already. But Morbius, I actually had to dig for this. Was in She-Hulk, way back in the day, back when it was like when She-Hulk first got her own comic. He was in her comic for a few issues. And I didn't know this at the time, prior to this. I didn't realize he was the one who basically made it to where she could turn back and forth whenever she wanted. That he was the reason why she could control her transformation. That's what I was saying. Like, dude, I don't this shit kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh wow, how did I never remember this? Because I know I had read She-Hulk. I read those runs back in the day, but I was more familiar with the 80s, not 80s, I guess like late 80s, early 90s She-Hulk, when she was like breaking the fourth wall and doing crazy shit. That was a She-Hulk I remember more. But yeah, I was like, dude, I forgot Morbius was the one who got her tightened up with her powers and shit. Goddamn. But no, so Judgment Day. Judgment Day is coming. This is the Avengers, X-Men, Eternals crossover story arc that Kieran Gillen is overseeing. We don't know what's going on. We don't know why Kraven is involved. We know Deadpool is also involved in this, but we don't know why Kraven is going after the X-Force team, the mutants. Like, what is he? Was he suddenly think they're the world's most dangerous game now or some shit? But this cover, though, does seem to confirm something I said in my video for X-Force recently about Omega Red and how they're very likely setting him up to join the team. Now, once again, covers lie, because Deadpool is on this cover as well. He is not a member of X-Force, at least not currently. But part of me is wondering if because I think the Kraven part's the most interesting part of this. I do think that Omega Red also being a part of X-Force is very interesting in and of itself, just based on everything we've seen happen over the past few months with Omega Red. But Carter, what do you think about this? I mean, you kind of already given a little bit of insight on it, but I'm curious. Oh, you're muted.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Omega Red. Just seeing how he's gonna operate with all this going on, since he basically got this new lease on life.
Yeah,
and that's honestly the main thing that I'm more interested in, just because he didn't kill Beast. He came very close. So if he were to do anything when it pertained to Kraven, I don't see it happening, just because even though they kind of did you dirty the first time, they brought you back twice.
Right.
So they brought you back twice, and even on this second time, they actually tried to, I don't know if a lot of people read it in that issue, they're trying to actually help a brother out by weaning him off oh God, what's the name of that shit?
The carbonadium synthesizer, yeah.
Thank you. So I don't really see him. I could see him being in the issue, but I don't see him doing anything with Kraven. I think he's going to be what Sabretooth could have been.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
If any of you read the Sabretooth stuff when he was inverted, how he was still Sabretooth, but that's why I think we might go with him. So,
Yeah.
or they may even go the route of like, I'll do something ever so often until a writer wants to turn me back into a villain again, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I will give him this. He's getting cover time. He's getting cover, which once again, don't mean shit. Lots of characters show up on covers and don't have shit to do with the issue that they're on the cover of. But like,
I do want to see what they're gonna do with Kraven, because
yeah,
when I read him in that Valkyrie issue, it's like, okay, now you messing. Just to take Thor's phrase real quick, space magic. So
yeah, space magic.
you're messing with gods and stuff big time. So like, if Clayton is man enough to do that, if Clayton is Billy badass enough to go to an island of mutants,
which apparently there's a limited series that's going to be dropping supposed to time with all this AXE nonsense. It's supposed to be was it AXE Death to Mutants? So
we don't need another event.
We really don't. Honestly, like I said, I mean, look, I'll probably cover this shit, but like, man, I won't lie, I'm gonna be tired as fuck when this is over. I'm gonna be tired as hell. So whatever event comes after it, I'm probably gonna ignore. I'm just gonna be like, no, I'm good. I'm evented out. They've evented me out. I'm done.
Y'all, because people told you, and I'm not talking about you all, I'm talking about Marvel in general. Everybody unanimously told you we don't want AVX again because you shit the bed. You shit the bed big time on AVX. Yeah. I don't know why y'all let Fraction do y'all. I don't know why y'all did Fraction like that, made him write that hogwash. But you thought by adding the externals, who, sorry to say, I know you like it.
Yeah, I like Kieran Gillen's Eternals.
No one. So let me preface this by saying, I mean more so people who have only seen films or are stuck in their ways of reading certain books. I know too many different comics people who will buy a book just because it is a certain character, certain group, certain Marvel property. Won't even fucking read it, but they'll buy it just to support, which I think is fucking stupid. But I say all that to say, you thought this book would get sales by putting I almost said the externals, the Eternals in it, when not a lot of motherfuckers care about the Eternals. They dog the movie out every chance they get, even though the movie wasn't that bad. They dog that. Do you know what? They don't even dog the book out. They just don't read it.
Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing with it. Eternals is a great comic. It has not always been a great comic. When I'm not talking about the Kieran Gillen, I'm talking about like in the past. The old Jack Kirby stuff, I'm not the hugest fan of. I think it's okay, but like it's okay for the time that it was made, but like by today's standards, I actually think kind of boring. However, Neil Gaiman was the one that showed me that the Eternals could be somebody. Because he wrote a story that made sense. But I mean, now I will say this, as far as AVX goes, I don't hate AVX. I just think that it ended really poorly. I like parts of AVX. I don't like the event as a whole. But
you made me dizzy shaking my head no like that. Ow. Ow.
Look, you done goofed. You done goofed.
No, I just see Fleetus in the chat saying the event sell comics. That is a blatant fucking lie.
Well, I mean, no, they do. They do actually sell comics because people do buy them. People go out and buy that shit. Like it gets, because the thing is, for as much as people say, "Oh man, I'm fucking tired of this shit," they're gonna go buy it because they want to know what happens. It's the same reason people say they're tired of Batman. You know, people say they're tired of Batman, but they still go and buy every Batman book.
It just goes back to my point. They'll buy shit they're not even reading just to support their character. And I think a lot of people only read. And I'm saying this part because I've actually spoken to people at comic shops up here when they recognize me somewhere. They buy events not because they care about the event, but because they'll buy a certain book in floppies, and the shit is continued in the book that they read. So they're forced to buy it because for completionist sake of saying, I have this entire run or this entire run. So that's why some of these events sell, because I don't want that hole right there when I have issue 74 and then I bump to 96. I got to buy this so that it keeps going and continuing. I've spoken with a lot of people who actually said that. That's not everybody, but that's the reason some people will buy a lot of these event books.
Yeah. Oh no, I 1,000% agree. That's very, very much the case. Okay, case in point, I like to use Dark Knight's Metal as an example, which had a ton of tie-ins, even though it was a very short series. But do you know how many people actually tried to run back and buy Teen Titans? It was Teen Titans number 13 or something like that. From that was a tie-in to Dark Knight's Metal. How many people tried to run back and buy that shit when they realized that was the actual first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs, not where we saw him in the Dark Knight's Metal book proper? It turned that book from being like what I would use as a coaster. Or I wouldn't even wipe my ass with it. That's how.
I don't think you'd use that as a coaster. You had them pages stuck to your table like that. It'd be kind of nasty.
Yeah, it would be actually kind of gross. Now, you know what I would do? I would blow my nose with it and throw it away. That's how I felt about that issue, because it's not a good issue. It's not that great. It's just, I'm being hyperbolic. It's not a terrible issue. It's just not anything to write home about. But that is the first appearance of the Batman Who Laughs, which makes it a key issue. So people ran back and bought that shit just because. You see that shit a lot. But no, I don't disagree with you. I think that, and I've said this a lot. I criticize the shit out of King in Black for it. And even Absolute Carnage to a lesser extent, that like, dude, there's too many fucking tie-ins. And while some of them are actually good, they're not necessary. Like, none of these change. Like, honestly, okay, if you read King in Black, and if all you read was King in Black and Venom, you didn't read Amazing Spider-Man, you didn't read whatever the Fantastic Four shit I think they did with it, or any of the other bullshit, Thunderbolts, whatever. If you didn't read any of that, you wouldn't have missed shit that has to do with the main story, because honestly, you didn't even really need to read Venom. If you just read King in Black, just straight up King in Black, 1 through 5, done. You had the whole story. Though reading Venom does actually put some context on some things. So I will say, yeah, Venom is definitely a necessary part of that. It's kind of the same thing for Absolute Carnage. There was really nothing happening in those tie-ins that really demanded that you read them. They were just cool side stories that didn't have shit to do with shit. It was just, oh, this is other stuff that's going on. And that's kind of how, and Marvel and DC are both guilty of this, that's kind of how they do tie-ins. Because the tie-ins rarely ever have anything to do with the main story at large. It's just shit that's happening in the world while this thing is going on. Doesn't have anything to do with the main thing. It's just, oh, hey, we got, let's say, I'm just gonna throw some shit. Let's say, oh, we've got Avengers versus the Fantastic Four event coming out in 2023. Oh my God, this is great. Oh my God, it's gonna be 5-issue limited series. Oh, by the way, there's gonna be a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur tie-in. That Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur tie-in ain't got shit to do with what's going on between the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. It's just what Moon Girl happens to be doing while she's hanging out with Devil Dinosaur while this shit's going on. Same thing with Squirrel Girl. I think War of the Realms is one of the few events in a long time that had tie-ins that mattered to some extent. And even they were guilty of that shit. Even they were guilty. But anyway, that's that. Let me put my soapbox away. And we'll move on. Carter, are you familiar with Joe Casey?
Yes, I am.
So for those who don't know, Joe Casey, co-creator of America Chavez, had some words for Marvel in regards to their usage of America Chavez. Now, here's the funny thing about America Chavez. Apparently, while I was looking at the story, this doesn't really have much to do with anything. But did you know, Carter, America Chavez was originally supposed to be in Spider-Man No Way Home?
I did not know that.
Apparently, the role that Ned Leeds filled in, where he was the whole like, oh, Doctor Strange apprentice, trying to be Doctor Strange's apprentice. Apparently, that was supposed to be America Chavez. America Chavez was supposed to be the one that was there and was opening the portals for them. She was supposed to be the one that was supposed to be opening the portals for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. She was actually supposed to play a role of
that.
them.
That would have made a fuckload more sense than having the fat boy do.
Yes. Apparently, the reasoning why she was written out was because of COVID. Like COVID and all the restrictions on filming and stuff like that. It changed the overall script of the film. So her part was written out, which is, and honestly, this actually makes more sense. Remember back when, was it Grace Randolph, whatever that heifer's name is, the really loud woman who sounds and looks like Laura Ingraham, but instead of talking about politics, she talks about comics. That woman, she was going off about how, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is going through massive reshoots. Spider-Man No Way Home going through massive reshoots. Part of me wonders if that was why. Could be wrong. May be completely unrelated. But truth be told, reshoots, not that uncommon with major motion pictures. It's actually, you just hear about it more often now than what you used to. It usually doesn't mean anything. Except for the case of the Fan 4-stick movie. That was for a reason. But yeah, basically Joe Casey and Nick Dragotta, who created America Chavez, which is an amazing character, by the way. She's gonna be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And while I'm into it, I'm digging it. I like where I'm ready to see how this is gonna play out. Joe Casey has some words for Marvel and their usage of her in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as well as her usage in other media. Now, this doesn't have to do with how Joe Casey feels about how she is used, this, that, and the other. Has nothing to do with that. Actually has to do with compensation. This is something that we have talked about previously when the names Ed Brubaker came up, when David Aja came up, so on and so forth. People not getting paid or compensated for their works. Joe Casey came out and said that, let's see here. Let's pull it up. Now, he does actually point out, and before I'm going to preface all this by saying Casey does say that Marvel made him an offer ahead of the MCU's first appearance. He rejected it, saying that it was a pittance. Going on to say that the fact is Marvel owns America Chavez. That's not in dispute on any level, but there are still systemic flaws in the way that creators are neither respected nor rewarded. He goes on to say that Marvel has paid me nothing for America Chavez, not only for appearing in the Doctor Strange sequel, but in numerous animated TV episodes, for the numerous action figures they've made of her, for video games that she's appeared in, and he says they seem to be fine with that. He says, for me, it's not about money, it's not even about the respect. I would never expect to be respected by a corporation. If I'm in a position where I can afford not to take their insult of an offer and be able to talk about it, maybe the next guy where that kind of money could change their life would get a fair shot of receiving that money. He also goes on to say he says, I'm a happy guy. I'm not disgruntled. I'm not bitter because I know this is how this goes. I also know this is how you change things by talking about it. This is actually, now, this is echoing all the things we've heard Ed Brubaker say. Things we've heard Jim Starlin say in regards to creators not getting the respect, not getting the money, the compensation that a lot of people feel, and a lot of these people themselves feel that they are owed. None of the people are mad about it because, once again, they understand, they know this is just how this is, but it doesn't mean it's how it always has to be. And yeah, I think he's not wrong. He's right to say something. I think it would be more weird if he didn't say anything. You know what I mean? But honestly, if I were him, I probably would have taken the money. I don't know what it was they were offering. I know in the past we've heard it's literally like maybe just like in the 4-digit category, typically like $1,000 here, maybe $2,000 there. I remember Ed Brubaker and Jim Starlin both saying something along those lines. They got like a check, like basically they just got a check for that. And okay, there you go. I think I even remember Jim Starlin saying that he got more money from for his just off of the SAG shit. Talk about the Screen Actors Guild, because you have to become a member of the Screen Actors Guild of America to be in a movie, so on and so forth.
I would hope they get to a point where, with these original characters that are getting used to this extent, that they wouldn't get just one lump sum. I would hope that they would try to...
Should be getting royalties.
Well, yeah, or at least a percentage. Some kind of percentage, whether it be 1%, 2%, 3%. Here's the thing with that is, if you're putting them in different forms of media, whether it be toys, cartoons, video games, other comics, T-shirts, if you're getting a percentage of all of that, I think that will be a lot better. Because in the article we're talking about, Marvel sent him over a special character agreement that included a cash offering reportedly around 5 racks.
Yep.
Here's the thing.
That's what Robo just put in here. He said he actually got it in here too. His original was like $5K. Yep, that's correct.
So when it comes to shit like that, to me, that sounds like we're gonna give you this because we're not gonna do anything else, is what that sounds like. We're not going to do anything with that character. We put him in this book for you. Here. Now that we got this movie out, I think now you can correct me if I'm wrong. Has she been in a few cartoons?
I believe so, yes. Okay.
So we got that into the equation now. She's going to blow up when this Doctor Strange movie comes out.
Oh, most certainly.
So...
She has been in... Oh, yeah, because she was in Marvel Rising. She was in Marvel. She was in the Marvel Rising animated, the different animated specials, and she was in Marvel Rising Secret Wars, which was like an animated movie. And she's in all of she's in most of the Lego games. Mm-hmm. She's in most of the Marvel mobile games.
Okay,
like Contest of Champions, Strike Force, Future Fight, so on and so forth.
Okay, so with that, Joe Casey coming out with that saying he's not mad. You mad? You mad? So. I don't care what you say. You came out and said that shit for a reason. If she's in all these different forms of media that you're talking about, you're a little bit salty that all you got offered was 5 racks. It reminds me of, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it was somebody who had a percentage of Apple and then gave it away for pennies. And now look at what the fuck Apple is now. You know that dude is hurt. You know that dude pride is hurt. So yeah, I could see why this. I see why he's saying it, and I don't care what he says. He has to say that so it doesn't look like it's sour grapes. But you mad big time. So like I said, I would hope that he would get some kind of percentage. I don't think you're gonna get the Neil Gaiman of outright owning a character, because goodness, look how long that took. Just for him.
That took 5 ever.
I think the one thing that you could hope for, and I think that could be something you could go to court about with it being an original character, is to get some kind of a percentage. Because even though, even like I said earlier, percentages sound small until you realize everything that they're in, and that shit is still going to keep going. So I would hope that they do that with a lot of these comic book writers, because at that point, if you give them that percentage and you're using it in all these things, that's going to benefit them, but it's still going to benefit you. And if you don't go that route, it's going to put you in a position where you basically have to, because people are going to get tired of seeing even though you're doing different writers, they're going to get sick of seeing the same characters because you don't really want to use this character because you got to pay this person. It's going to put Marvel and DC and whoever else, it's going to put them in a corner to where they have to pay these people.
Right.
They have to pay these people because people are going to get tired of seeing same old, and you have this new character that's just been on the back burner that you don't want to do anything with because you're going to have to pay this guy. Well, now you're going to have to.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah. So I'm hoping that that's what we can get from all of this.
Yeah. Do also say too, because Robo Strange actually got a super chat here for $4.99. Says tie-ins not having to do with the main. Talk about the main event is a result of listening to the readers. I feel it was worse when you had to read the tie-in. It felt exploitive. It did actually because
wasn't even tie-ins. One of the main reasons that I don't like Jonathan Hickman, because I was talking about it last week with that Infinity event. You had regular Avengers, you had new Avengers, right? That entire
wasn't Mighty in that?
No.
Was it Mighty Avengers?
I don't think Mighty Avengers in that.
Okay, no, you're right. It was this trade that I've got. It's Infinity number 1 through 6, New Avengers 7 through 12, Avengers number 14 through 23. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about Time Runs Out. Time Runs Out had a lot of shit in it too.
Yeah. So, and the reason I bring up Infinity is just because they were their own separate books at the time. But when that fucking event came out that Ernie is trying his best to put back on that damn shelf and he's having trouble, he about to fall out that damn chair. I was actually to fall out of it. With that event, you couldn't just read one or the other. No. That shit was if you were just reading Avengers, that shit was forcing you to go grab New Avengers.
Yes.
Even when New Avengers had a completely different story going on. And this was back when that shit was like $5.99 a book.
Yep. No, you're right. 100%.
So it's like, I hate when you're getting forced to have to constantly grab this shit, even if you don't even give a fuck about what's going on with that stuff. So it's not even just tie-ins. They can do that shit with the main books. And I'm happy that they kind of slowed down on that. I know a lot of people were complaining about Spider-Man because Spider-Man was 3 times a month. Yep. That they had to pump money out.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it feels, Amazing Spider-Man, I think, was weekly or bi-weekly or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, fuck that. We got another here, Conway Bergdorf with the 199 Super Chat. This is actually something me and you talked about the other day. It says, brothers, have you read the Joneses? Issue 1. That's the AWA Upshot series, 5-issue mini that just
that comic cover, that was they get a nasty award for that cover, because I guarantee you didn't play Lakeith Stanfield or Zendaya. I don't know who the other two were, but they nasty for that cover.
Yeah, for those who know what we're talking about here, I'm actually gonna pull up the cover right now.
They super nasty for that cover, man.
Yeah, I'll drop this so y'all can actually see it in its entirety. But this is actually quite common for them, though. A lot of the AWA Upshot comics, not a lot of them, but a good chunk of them, they use like images of actual people for their stuff.
Because you said it before when you speak about their books, that they're trying to get them. This is like, it's basically a movie pitch.
Yeah. This is
basically a movie pitch, but no, that's not the right cover.
Oh wait, which one? Which cover are you talking about?
The one I sent you, the Twitter link I sent you.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me pull it. Yeah, I just pulled up the regular. I pulled up the one that I had. Yeah, you know what? Here, give me a sec.
Yeah.
That's
the nasty one.
Here, let me pull it up. I got you. I forgot.
That's that cover.
This motherfucker right here. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah,
he get a nasty award for that cover, dog.
Here, let me pull this up. Here we go. Y'all look at this. If that ain't Zendaya, I don't know what is. If that ain't Lakeith Stanfield, I don't know who that.
They nasty for that cover. I know y'all ain't nobody.
What was that movie they had? The Harder They Fall. He just got off the set of The Harder They Fall. he about to go film more scenes for Atlanta. Right now. Zendaya looked like she just found out she got to come back and do reshoots for Dune 2. Damn. Ain't that about a bitch?
That cover's so nasty.
But I will say this. I actually like the comic, though. I like the comic. It's actually not, and I talked about this, by the way, for those who know, for those of you who are YouTube channel members or patrons, The top 5 comics of the week will be posting shortly after we end the show. But I actually bring this up in my some spoilers. It is going to show up on the top 5. Just you won't know when. But that is something I bring up with that show over that comic, is that it reminds me of No Ordinary Family, but done better. Did you ever see that show, Carter?
It's in pieces, like YouTube clips.
Yeah, okay. So, like, for those who don't know, this was a show that starred Michael Chiklis and Julie Benz. It was a sitcom about a family who just one day mysteriously got superpowers. Michael Chiklis, I think his character was superhumanly strong. If I'm remembering all this correctly, yeah, here, let me see, I got it pulled up right here. Yeah, Michael Chiklis' character was superhumanly strong. I forget what Julie Benz's character could do. I don't remember exactly. I don't really remember what any of the kids could do either. But basically, it was about the same premise. It was a family who had some marital issues, and and the kids were acting out. They all get powers, and they all have to wrestle with whether or not they want to be superheroes. That's basically what the show is about, but it was played mostly for laughs. The show wasn't really that serious. It would get serious occasionally. It would get kind of dark in some points, but it was mostly a lighthearted show. The Joneses is doing the same thing, but taking it up a notch. And like Carter said, yeah, we have talked about this. AWA Upshot is a company that typically is known for doing comics that could very easily be recreated into TV shows and movies, which is, oddly enough, actually happening. Bad Mother, I think, is actually about to get adapted, or was announced recently as getting adapted. There's some other stories they have that are, The Chariot is getting adapted. So, yeah, I mean, it's working. It's actually working. People are picking these things up, because comics, I'm going to say every comic they make is great, but 90% of what they put out, I think, is pretty good. Pretty damn good, actually. Talk about it looks like a Disney Channel original movie. It was on ABC Family. No Ordinary Family was on ABC Family.
Yes,
so
it was.
Not,
I do remember that.
That's not an incorrect statement.
But with the Joneses and this cover, they nasty for this one.
Oh yeah, no, that is
I understand
100%.
You want this to be a film or something, but you nasty found out.
Like, I wonder if they hit up Zendaya and keep staying
like that first one you showed looked like some shit that was Photoshop. That's in one of them, like oh god, I can't remember those books you used to see in school. Like, that's some shit that look like they have to look surprised on it.
Yeah,
what's the name of those books? Oh fuck.
Oh man.
Because they always they had some kind of camping aesthetic on the front of them.
Yeah. Like them Scholastic books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those like you used to get at the book fair.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that first cover you posted looked like some shit you see on a Dare poster or something. That was clearly some Photoshop shit. The key stamp, yeah, you nasty for that. Because you know good and goddamn well y'all didn't pay nobody.
They ain't paid nobody for that shit.
They
ain't paid not a soul. They paid nobody a stitch of money for that shit. But no, I liked it though. I did like the comic. It definitely has there's a point, and without this isn't spoiling anything, but there's a point where the whole see something, say something mentality comes up, and there's some commentary about how people will put on the cape for a cause until that cause comes to their backyard. There's some commentary about that. It's pretty cool. I like it so far. It's only going to be 5 issues. And that's what I do appreciate about AWA Upshot. They just tell quick stories. Boom, get out. But yeah, let's see. We got us a super chat here from the homie Brent Fox. Says first time commenting, but I genuinely appreciate this platform. 100. Do we appreciate that $5 super chat? Thank you so much for that. And like I said, hey, it's love. Thank you. We do what we do. You do what you do. And that's what's important.
Yes.
We also got Blerd Club Silver from Talali House. Thank you for that, pimp. We also got another one here from Conway Bergdog with a $4.99 super chat. Says, when she appeared in the car was my only issue, but it sits as my sis protected me before I knew how to knock someone out. Love you guys. Okay, I think he's talking about what's going on in the Joneses with there's a point where
I remember when she walked up on these dudes that were trying to pick on them man.
Yeah. There's a part where the little brother is being picked on, and the little brother has powers. Like everyone in the family. Everyone in the family has superhuman abilities. We don't really know what all of them are. We know that the daughter, the Zendaya lookalike, she's superhumanly fast, and it's implied that she might be superhumanly strong. But we know she's definitely superhumanly fast. The dad, he can create a rock, it's basically like an exoskeleton made of looks like solid granite. Basically, he could turn into the Thing, and it's implied he's superhumanly strong. The son, apparently his powers are some level of teleportation, and the mother, she looks like she has some kind of electricity manipulation powers or something. Whatever it is, she doesn't know how to control it, and she damn near explodes in the first issue when she's at a PTA meeting or something adjacent to that. But yeah, I mean it's cool. I like it. I like the setup. The family's not perfect. The couple not perfect. They are at each other's throats over differences of opinions. And I'm into it. Yeah. I like it.
Which Dr. Strong said it reminds me of that comic artist that would reference adult film scenes in his comic.
He's talking about Greg Land.
About Greg Land.
Yeah, Greg Land.
Yep. Also, when you said Mighty Avengers, that was the first thing that came in my head because he was the artist on Captain America and the Mighty Avengers.
Yep.
For quite a lot of that run. The book was good, but that art.
Yeah, he did. He was with Al Ewing too. Al Ewing on Mighty Avengers. He was also on an X-Men book for a minute too.
Yeah, he was on. It was Cullen Bunn's book.
Yeah,
it was on Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, Uncanny X-Men. Yep, that's correct. And the funny thing about it is his art's not bad. His art's actually really good. It's just
all the women just look the same.
Well, they all look like. Well, also what they are likely. Which, by the way, here let's.
Already did it.
Oh, thank you. Look at you, man, out here. I was literally just about to hit the button. I literally had the mouse over. Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's who that little kid is supposed to look like. Because I don't watch that show like that. He's saying Fleeza said the son kind of looks like Raising Dion.
Yes.
Oh, so y'all owe everybody some bread for this cover, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it now. Which makes me wonder who the woman is supposed to be, because I know she's clearly also inspired by an actress. I just don't know who it would be. I don't know. I'll that's one that I'll have to sit and think on for a while. But yeah. So let's also look at this too, because we got another one. We got one from the homie Robo Strange out here. Says, let's see. This is the Blerd Club Silver on the re-up. 12 months. Man, thank you for that. Says, what do y'all think about IP farms? I don't mind. Basically, what he's talking about is what we just said. Creating, doing what AWA Upshot is doing is basically what this is. Saying that, you just create properties with the express purpose of attracting the attention of Hollywood to make these properties into movies and TV shows.
Well, yeah, you can't really bring up AWA a lot. Now, this is nasty. What they did. But Mark Millar been doing this for years.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I was about to say Millar World. World. Okay, so I don't know if it. I guess most people. I'd like to assume most people know this, Carter, but maybe elaborate a little bit, but because I feel like you and I know what Mark Millar's been doing for well over a decade and a half. But explain to the good people what Mark Millar does.
So what Mark Millar does, oh wow, I could take this several different routes. So I'm just gonna bring up some movies for you guys, okay? Matter of fact, I'm just gonna bring up properties you all might know: Jupiter's Legacy, Kick-Ass, Wanted. What's another one that's gonna be a movie soon? The one you like, Prodigy.
Oh yeah, Prodigy. Yeah, they are working on Prodigy.
these are all different properties you've heard of that you've probably read at Image or you've seen the movies or TV shows. All of those were done by one person, Mark Millar. And all of those, with the exception of Jupiter's Legacy, were great because they shied away from the source material.
Yep. Oh, well, no, here, no.
Oh, thank you guys. Super Crooks.
Yeah, Super Crooks is another one because that's a spinoff. It's
so
all
here's
part
the
of that universe.
It was never a fucking spinoff until it got put on.
Until this, But no, here's the funny thing about that, though. Most of these properties that you mentioned, once again, with the exception of Jupiter's Legacy, these were scripts for movies that he wrote that Hollywood rejected. Wanted was originally meant to be a movie, but since they didn't pick it up, he made it into a comic instead. And he did that with a lot of his properties. Kick-Ass, Wanted, of course.
Wanted
I would even
being
believe
Wanted being the one that really shied away from the source material and is better off for it.
Yes.
Kick-Ass stayed more in tune with it. Jupiter's Legacy was damn near a 1-to-1.
1-to-1, almost, yeah.
Super Crooks was the same way. Oh shit, the one that's his biggest one, his moneymaker, fucking Kingsman.
Oh yeah, which by the way, I just watched the Kingsman.
How is that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I fell asleep on it like after about 30 minutes. But I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was already tired. We were watching this shit when I was already like kind of 3 sheets in the wind, and I was off that edible. But when I woke back up, I enjoyed everything I saw.
Okay.
It's a good movie. I actually went back and watched the parts that I fell asleep on. Because I wasn't, once again, I wasn't on that edible. But it's interesting. They do some weird shit with it's supposed to be Rasputin or whatever the hell dude's supposed to be. I forget exactly. They do some really crazy shit with him. But it's a good movie. I liked it a lot. It does go real extra in some parts, but I mean that's kind of Kingsman for you right there. Yeah. But I liked it. I actually really dug it. What was some of the other there were some other things that he dropped.
Some of those aren't movies or TV shows, and they shouldn't be.
Right.
Nemesis is a big one.
Yeah, Nemesis. Yeah. Nemesis, I think, was another one he also tried to pitch as a movie or
and
something.
Then you read it and you're like, I wouldn't fucking watch this.
No, I would not.
But I mean, teach their own, they did take Wanted and turn that completely.
They dialed it up to 11.
There is so much I am screaming for attention in Wanted.
Yes.
Kick-Ass was another one they toned down until Kick-Ass 2, and they kind of followed the source material a little bit with a spin on it. But Wanted there was no bullet fucking curving in that original book. That original book was a lot of cursing, a lot of sexual assault.
Yep.
A lot of
Halle Berry.
She was Halle Berry. It was not Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
A
lot of Halle Berry.
A lot of poop.
Yeah, because it was like a shit monster. There was like because he was supposed to be like Clayface.
Yeah,
but what do you call it, like shithead or something like that?
Yeah, it was shithead. He was the poop from 100 the most evil. He was the poop of hundreds of the most evil people in the world. So there was a little bit of Hitler in there.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of Bin Laden. They had a guy who was supposed to be a mentally So instead of Bizarro, they had Millar wrote Fuckwit.
Yeah, fuck.
Because that's not somebody you want to fuck with. And he was a mentally disabled version of Superman.
Dude, that's such an edgelord comic.
They played up the mental. It wasn't like how fun Bizarro was. No, this was just. It was bad.
It was the sadness. It was the sadness of that. I'm sorry. That comic is so edgelord, and I know there's people who love it, and I did like it when I originally read it, but as I've gotten older, no, that ain't. I do not like that comic as anywhere near.
Nemesis was just as bad because, like, literally the first issue of Nemesis that he did, he kills Steve Jobs,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a different name, I believe. But this was not a couple weeks after he had just passed.
Right. Oh, that was the other thing too. I didn't like. Wasn't okay. These characters aren't actually in Wanted, but like there are obvious references to them. Didn't they make Wonder Woman like turn out to be like some old fat lady, like in her old age? And then like
I try to forget that book so much.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, like it turned out that they were actually like in the Wanted universe, they're gay, and basically Batman was grooming Robin. Like that's how all that came together. Like I don't know. I thank you for reminding me of this, Carter. I now fucking hate this comic.
So the first one I had read from him, and this was so low down. The premise sounds better than the execution, because that was why I read Nemesis. I never bought Nemesis. I was sitting in a fucking Barnes and Noble and it was on the shelf. So the premise of Nemesis was, what if the Joker had Bruce's millions? What would he do? I said, okay, that sounds interesting. But then the book, you see him kill Steve Jobs in the first issue. This was a couple of weeks after Steve Jobs had actually passed, and he still came out with it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He puts a bomb
oh my God.
inside the president's daughter that's rigged to blow if anyone touches her uterus. And the guy, Nemesis, impregnates the daughter using her brother's seed. So it was an incest baby. They had to let come to term, or the woman would blow up. And the president had to tell these secrets about himself. Otherwise, the whole world was going to go shit. And it was a whole... When you hear stuff like that, and you hear how disturbing it is, and you hear how horrible it is, and then he'll come out with some shit like Superior, and then he'll come out with something like Huck, which are amazing stories.
Yeah, Huck is good. Yeah,
Huck is. I love that book.
Superior is also very good. Yeah,
Superior is really good with the little handicap boy who's actually it's a fun take on Shazam. Is what Superior is, and that ended up being in the same universe as Wanted that a lot of people don't know. But it's just how does your mind do that? Millar is a twisted human being.
Oh yeah,
I cannot believe that he is blown up to where he got Kingsman, Wanted, Kick-Ass, Jupiter's Legacy, Super Crates.
And there's more. There's more because he sold Millar. Like Netflix has the rights to Millar World, so they can make any of his stuff. They can make any of his stuff.
Where's that book? Where's it? Is it right here? Another good one.
Chrononauts. Yep, Chrononauts is another one. Actually,
it's so fun and it's so good. And it's like, how did that person write this?
It makes you wonder. It takes all types to move the world. We got one here from Talali House. Thank you for the 5 months. Blerd Club Silver says, hey, Ernie Carter, is it possible to send a DM to y'all? Well, I mean, I'm on Twitter, so I mean, people send me DMs. It's just a matter of
I'm on Twitter at Carter Presents. So yeah.
At Blerd minus Fear. So I'm easy to find. People send me DMs all the time, and I won't lie, I usually don't see them because so many people were sending me messages at one point and DMing me because of some shit that happened a way back that I set my shit to where, like, if I don't follow you, it just goes into a separate folder and I have to actually go look for it. And it's the same on Instagram. So sometimes I see them. If you tell me you sent me one, I'll go look for it. But if you just send me one willy-nilly, I very likely won't see it till like a month or two after the fact because I don't check that shit. But yes, you most certainly are allowed. And I will even type my stuff. It probably comes up in the thing, but I'll put it in there just in case. But yeah, Ibrahim Robinson with the $2 super chat says, what are your thoughts on Tokyo Vice? My thoughts are about the same as a lot of people's. It's a good show with a milquetoast lead. That's what I would say.
Don't say that, because I was actually excited. I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, I'll watch this. This looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a good show. It's very good. My problem with it is I just think the main character's not as interesting as everything else going on around him.
The reporter?
Yeah. I don't think he's as interesting. I think which I think that is technically supposed to be the point.
I think that's supposed to be the point.
Yeah, that's the point. It is the point. It's just that it's executed too well.
Okay, I was going to say the world around him is so good that you're like, get him the fuck on. So, okay,
yeah, I'm like, man, dude, get him the fuck. Like, honestly, if they just would have, because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like, because y'all know I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza games. Yeah. All the Ryu Gagatoku catalog, pretty much, which is the company that makes Yakuza, Judgment, all that stuff. So I was really into this. But just every time he would pop up on screen, I'd just be like, oh, okay, cool, hurry up, get the fuck out of here. You ain't as cool as you think you are, dude. Move. Let me get. I want to see the dude with the sunglasses on in broad daylight. I want to talk to him. That's who I want to talk to. That's how I feel about the show. But I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, Blerd said, fuck that show. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's good. Just, you're not in it for the main character, is what I'm saying. Okay. Which reminds me, I need to get one of my favorite shows, Close Enough, just came back on HBO Max. I need to get on that. That's for those who know, Close Enough is the show that's made by the same guy who made Regular Show. But it's another animated series drawn in the same fashion, but instead of being about anthropomorphic animals and gumball machines and shit like that, it's about actual people, and it's about being an adult. And how shitty and how unfun and sometimes how weird and crazy.
Take Regular Show. Yeah. Take the animals out. Put normal people in a regular episode of Regular Show with a lot more cursing and adult themes. Yep. This shit's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's fucking great. Because you know what, the show actually hit me in my feels because me and my wife were watching it together, and I think it's one of the first 2 or 3 episodes where the main characters, the couple, they don't have their daughter for the night. So they go do whatever they want. And they're like, wait a minute, we can do whatever we want? And you're thinking they're going to be like, oh man, we're going on a date. We're going to go to the movies. We're going to go out and have a romantic evening, romantic dinner, do all this crazy stuff we've always wanted to do. No, that's not what they do. All you see them doing is doing fucking chores and doing and running errands to the tune of Turn Down for What? Like, all you hear is turn down for what? And they just go and grocery shopping, folding clothes, doing taxes. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, one of the first episodes I saw, because HBO Max, that app is absolutely fucking awful. The HBO Max app is awful.
Actually, but dude, imagine how bad the HBO Max app is. The Paramount Plus app is even worse.
That's why I'm happy I only have one streaming service I use, and that's HBO Max. But I remember the first episode I saw Close Enough, and I was not prepared. It was when his daughter was more impressed with a different guy at a skateboard park.
Yeah.
And then he tried to do skateboarding part. He tries to do skateboard Tony Hawk tricks, and he just eats it.
Yep.
And it hits him right in between the legs, and it goes in his butt. And when not goes in, but it's like you've seen those guys when they land dick first on a pole or something, and then you just hear this guy just out of nowhere just go, man, that guy just got ass knifed. And I lost.
I love that shit.
Lost it.
I fucking love that shit. It's a great show. Y'all should check it out. But yeah, it's called Close Enough.
Close Enough. It is good. It is so really good.
The fucked up part is that show was actually supposed to go to TBS like years ago. And it got put on the shelf. Yeah, it got put on the shelf. And then COVID happened and everything got pushed off. And then eventually it ended up on HBO Max. And I've been happy ever since. But yeah, great show. Fucking great show. We got another one here. Let's see, from Jason Davis. Says, happy $1.50, y'all. Yeah, dude, thank you for that. Yeah, because we are 150 in, man. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe it. We got another one. We got £5 from LJ Brown. Says, thoughts on an Ultron and Nimrod team-up comic. P.S. Carter is going to ban me for life for that Iska back-blowing comment.
No, I saw the comment. And I laughed and kept it moving because I know how LJ Brown is. Danger. But Ultron and Nimrod.
That would be, well, they've already teamed him up with MODOK. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the most unusual thing. MODOK is working with Orcus, which by proxy means he's working with Nimrod.
It's just with this Nimrod though. Not Nimrod, excuse me. This Ultron though.
Oh,
this Ultron still somewhat thinks he's an Avenger and he's a good guy.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I think it would lead to some interesting character development.
Okay.
Well, because I think didn't they? I thought they separated them. Did they separate Hank Pym?
Oh, he's still running around.
He still got the half face
with the Terminator. No.
Okay, all right. Then yeah, fuck it. Shit, that would be weird. I mean, I would love to see it. I would read it. I would read it if for no other reason than sheer pure curiosity. But let's we got one last thing. This is just more of a PSA more than it is anything else. We got another Marvel thing coming up. This is going to be by way of Jason Aaron and Kev Walker. The Avengers of 1 million BC is getting, I think this is a one-shot. I believe it is. They're getting a one-shot where you see those characters we've gotten used to seeing. We'll see the Star Brand caveman that looks more like the Hulk than anything else. We'll get to see Agamotto, the first Black Panther, the Ghost Rider, prehistoric Ghost Rider, prehistoric Iron Fist, prehistoric Phoenix, and of course a younger Odin. May even more interesting by the things that have happened recently in the Thor comics. But yeah, this is supposed to delve. This is actually supposed to delve us back into something Jason Aaron had teased during I believe it was the Enter the Phoenix story arc.
Shit, it was before that. It was early on in his Avenger stuff because Tony ended up going back there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm talking about just the Thor stuff specifically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, just the Thor stuff. No. If you're talking about the prehistoric Avengers, that's all the way back at the beginning of his run. But just remember how everybody freaked out when the Phoenix revealed herself in the recent Phoenix story arc they did, where she was like, "Oh, I'm your mother." She calls him son, refers to him as son. This is basically addressing a retcon of a retcon. And because for those who don't know,
sounds so bad.
Doesn't it? It does sound kind of bad, doesn't it? It's because it probably is bad. I mean, I don't have a problem with the Phoenix being his mother. My problem with it is that they already did this before. So for those who don't remember, during the Eternals saga, and I actually thought about doing a video about this because this was something that came up, but so. And I know some people are going to flame me for how I pronounce his name, but it really does change depending on how you spell it and who you talk to. It's like potato and potato in English. It's how it is in Greece. So basically, Gaia, however you want to pronounce it. I kind of flip-flop on it because it does literally wax and wane with the phases of the moon. But basically, for all intents and purposes, the Titan, the Titan Gaia, she is retconned as being the mother of Thor back during the Eternal saga, which was basically when the Olympians and the Eternals were kind of slick going to war with one another, and then also at the same time the Celestials came down and were trying to judge Earth and all this other shit, whatever. Anyway, point of what I'm trying to say is they retconned Freya being Thor's actual mother and it being Gaia instead. This was like back in the fucking 80s. Early 80s. Shit, I forget who was writing this. But you fast forward some 40 years later, and now they're saying that it's the Phoenix. The Phoenix is his mother. And I think this is
fucking Maury episode, man.
Dude, right?
Freya, Gaia, Phoenix. Like, goddamn,
Gia, you are not the mother.
I just want to know which one is going to fall off that stage. Is it going to be Phoenix? Is it going to be Gaia? Is it going to be Freya? Which one is going to cry and
which one gonna be dancing?
Haul ass. Oh man. Oh man.
Wait. So is Odin gonna be the one dancing, or is Phoenix gonna be the one dancing, and then Freya? Well, G is gonna be the one that takes off down the hall and starts.
Dude, I better not see Freya. I better not see Freya start doing the Cupid shuffle because she not the mama. Oh,
well, no, here's
man.
the thing. Here's the messed up part, though. Even though all this information has been out, if you go back to Donny Cates' Thor. He completely ignores it because there's a part where Freya literally tells him, "Remember who your mother is," and she's not talking about herself; she's talking about Gia.
I feel like these two are like going at it. Like, no, Phoenix is the mom. No, Gaia is the mom. Yeah. No, Phoenix is like, but both of them are writing books following their canon.
Canon, yeah. Which I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know how this is going to. Yeah, this is apparently. Yeah, this is a one shot. And it's going to apparently address a lot of this. So this is just a little PSA on that, and that's all I really had to say about it. I don't really have anything else.
Lamar Roloff saying, damn, mom is a cosmic being and his dad is a god, and he still got killed by Thanos. That's cold.
That ought to tell you a lot of things.
That's cold.
But yeah.
But who cares? Who cares? Odin is gone now. Thor got a buff.
Yep.
All that extra shit can go on somewhere. Honestly, just do more Angela stories. I don't care about Freya, Gaia, none of that. No. Just do more Angela stories.
Honestly, I actually appreciated that Angela got a bit more to do in the more recent issues of Thor.
She's gonna be the new America Chavez.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. She's going to be that motherfucker that just shows up everywhere. She's going to be all over the place and just, yeah. I mean, I'm into it. It's whatever. I'm down for it. Actually, what was it I was reading the other day that had I went back and was, you know what? I went back and was reading Strike Force for an upcoming video. Not on Strike Force, but just a character in Strike Force that I'm about to do a video on. And yeah, kind of threw me for a loop. Threw me for a big fucking loop. I was like, oh shit, I forgot. Yeah, dude, Angela was in this shit. I had forgotten about it. It's a solid book. I like it. It's a really solid book. It definitely doesn't go the way that it wasn't what I initially thought it was when I originally started reading it. It's more of a, reminds me of John Carpenter's The Thing. Not like in the strictest sense, but just like some of the parts of it. Let's see here. We also got some more super chats in here. And then we'll go ahead and get into questions. So go ahead and start getting your questions in if you haven't done so already. We got one here from T1000, still out here on the hunt for John Connor. $15 says, congrats on Blerd Cave 150. Thank you. Thank you so much. We also got one here from Gabriel, The Dark Knight, with the 1999 super chat. Says, congratulations on the 150th episode here. Catching up on work so I can rest for the Easter weekend. Blerd and Carter, what are your thoughts on Thor God of Hammers storyline? This is the recent, actually, we were kind of slick talking about this. This is the storyline, the aforementioned storyline where Mjolnir, the Mother Storm trapped within Mjolnir, has escaped and basically had Mjolnir out here catching bodies. Running fades on the reg. Carter, I think you and I have talked about this privately, but I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the show, so I'll let you take first crack on this one.
At first, when they made it seem like it wasn't because here's the thing. I didn't realize people were trying to figure out who it was. I thought it was painfully obvious that it was actually Mjolnir itself. But I think it was more so because people didn't want it to be that plainly obvious. But going back to Jason Aaron's stuff of, Mjolnir and the Man God being in the sun together, I enjoyed it. I know, and with Donny Cates going back and referencing the Jason Aaron stuff, which is what a lot of people are pissed about because he's not doing that with Hulk. I dug it. I dug it that two things like that's being together like that, kind of melding and merging into this thing. Because that's something that a lot of people tend to forget that it was a living thing that Odin put in this hammer. It's just that was something that was very obscure and that people don't even think about. That's why I like it, because you completely forget that that's a thing, and now it's put to the forefront and it's in your face. And it was a woman scorned, even though it really wasn't a woman scorned. It died doing a good thing. But yeah, myself, I think everything so far with this Thor run has been really solid. Has been really, really solid. The Donald Blake stuff I really liked. The Frog Thor I really like. Everything they've done with that, with the Pet Avengers. So the God Hammer stuff, that was just another thing that I really enjoyed. And now Odin is actually gone, so now that we have the Thor force fully powered, I'm wondering where they can go next, because at this point you could very easily have him too strong to have any kind of a villain do anything to him. So yeah, just to answer the question, I think this is just another good thing in that run so far.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Donny Cates' Thor, even up to this point. The fact that Odin is now a part of the Hammer is interesting. That Thor,
I completely forgot about that fucking part. Oops.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's just a thing. I mean, honestly, I kind of forgot about it too up until not too long ago. We just us talking about it jogged my memory.
Fleezus, to answer your question, he does that for everybody. Everybody on every one of his videos is amazing. So yeah, that's nothing new. That's nothing new.
My God. I mean, yeah, it does kind of seem that way sometimes, but it is pretty much par for the course. It's fine. People probably say the same thing about me and Jonathan Hickman and various other people. But I think that the God of Hammer storyline, I didn't think of it as a whodunit because we knew who it was.
Yeah, it was it was
obvious.
It was obvious. They told you.
Yeah, and also I think it was more surprising who the Mother Storm was working with, being the Mangog.
That I was not thinking about.
Yeah, because that was kind of out of left field. Like, not out of left field, but like it was one of those things. Like, the last time we saw the Mangog was when Jane Foster took him down, and it was like, oh, he's gone. But then we don't think about the fact that okay. The reason why I think a lot of people had that whole unusual, or was it not unusual, but the usual suspects moment, like where it's like, oh my God, it's Kaiser Sose. He's Kaiser. Like, I think the reason why people had that moment was because Donnie brought it all the way home. Like, talking about how, okay, so we knew the Mother Storm, this is what was, what Mjolnir was made of. We know that, the Jane Foster, she plunged the hammer into the sun, the Mangog into the sun, and of course War of the Realms, he had to go back in, get it out, and they reforged Mjolnir, all that stuff. But then you start thinking about, well, wait a minute. So how does the Mother Storm feel about being hooked into the sun? And why not? Why wouldn't she communicate with something else that might be trapped in the sun along with her? Yeah, I mean, you start going, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. I think that's kind of the thing. Maybe people just didn't articulate it very well, but that's kind of why I feel people were like freaking out. But yeah, I wasn't surprised by it being the Mother Storm.
Real quick, so we can go ahead and put this to bed, because I know quite a few people who are still thinking this. So I'm hoping that the thousands of people that are going to come watch this later when they don't see it live, which Dr. Strong just brought it up. So wait, so Thor has the Thor force and all of Galactus' power. Donny Cates said this on Twitter to finally put this to bed, because it didn't really seem like that was the case when you're reading it. But the Galactus power is gone. He lost all of that power. Basically, the way Donny Cates said it on Twitter was basically he used up all of that power in killing and killing Galactus.
Yes.
So now he strictly just has the Thor force now.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people didn't
that.
know for sure just because the suit still looks the exact same.
Yeah, he kept the suit.
He kept the suit. But yeah, he used up all his Galactus power by killing Galactus.
Yes.
In that first arc.
Yes, very much so. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's get into the questions then. Let's get into the questions now. I'm gonna just go with well, hell, let's take one because it's already tangential to what we're talking about. How is Odin in the hammer? It's because Angela basically took Odin's essence and forged it into the hammer. More or less. At least that's how I understood it. I will actually go back. Here, let me go back and pull it up. But while we do that, let's pull this one up from Bill. Says, since Emma left Marauders, will she become more prominent in X-Force, filling the annual and the Hellfire Galatian? I don't know if Emma's going to become a part of X-Force. I don't think that is going to be the case. At least, I don't feel like she has a place on X-Force. I don't feel like she fits. But if they wanted to continue the whole CIA, version of the X-Men, if they wanted to continue that, and let's say Beast got outed and they put Emma in charge instead, I could see it then becoming interesting. I just don't feel like she could fill much of a... or maybe you could make her co-leader, like as oversight on Beast if you want to go about it that way. But overall, I don't know how I would feel about her, being that. About her filling that role. I don't know. That one's a weird one. But yeah, here I have it before me. I'm going to pull this up, and we will be able... I'll show you guys what it was I saw in this... in regards to the whole Thor thing. It's something that I don't think they reveal it till it's like pretty much the last freaking page of the comic. As I understand it. And once again, it's one of those things you kind of just have to go with it. It's a thing you just... And I think I said this before on Facebook for the very handful of people who likely follow me there, and I will just go say right now, do not add me on Facebook. I do not use it very often, and I only add people I actually know. And I know some of them are here. So I just want to make sure I put that to bed. But no, I was basically talking about how, like, comic books are a medium where nothing ever actually makes real total sense. And that's comics. Comics in a nutshell. You kind of just have to go with things sometimes when it comes to comics. And that is most certainly the case with this. But basically, here we go. Where's my comics? Okay, so here, and let's move that out of the way. So you see this right here. This is the new hammer. This is the new hammer that Angela has had forged for Thor. And yeah. And it's kind of it's loosely implied that she took what was left of Odin and put it in there. So it'll make things a little more interesting. That's kind of just where you have to go with it. So yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. If you are the least bit curious, I'll probably wind up doing a video because I haven't done a Thor video in a while. And oh wait, this is actually the page I wanted to show. My bad. I fucked that up. Here it is. But yeah, this is it. This is basically This is basically where it all happens, where you see what's actually going on here. This is him praying to his father, and then he hears a voice, and boom, what do you know? It's the Hammer. It's the Hammer. So there you go. But yeah, there you go. That was the page I actually meant to show. I don't know why I showed the other one. I was off in my own world. Senior moments, y'all. It happens. Even though I'm not a senior. But I'm not far from it. So there you go. Let's see. Let's keep them moving. Let's see. Who do you think will be the big bad in the upcoming Hulk versus Thor event? Oh, I don't know. Carter, you got any ideas? I haven't really been keeping up with it. Admittedly, I've just kind of been off in my own world when it comes to that particular upcoming event. I'm largely ignorant to what's even the premise of it. Other than Hulk versus Thor.
This Hulk run has been so different. Mm-hmm. I mean, not really different. It's going a route where you don't really know what to expect with each issue. So honestly, I don't know who the hell is going to be the bad guy in this book, if there is going to be one. And I guess you could say that's a good thing, because Donny Cates is keeping people on their toes.
Yeah.
Did
you read the last issue? The issue
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
That went about it was what I was expecting to happen, but I wasn't expecting it to happen exactly the way that it happened. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly,
did you get Brian Banner vibes from that version of Betty? Because she said something to him.
You mean, did I think it was his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
If that was somebody else, then somebody got some explaining to do.
Right. Because it was just because they said son, and I'm like, well, clearly it's not his mother.
Yeah, everything he was saying, I'm like, okay, so that's his dad. So how did that fucking happen?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Are we going the route where he still has that in his head? Because if we're going that route, then this really ain't got nothing to do with Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, so, I have no idea. I'm just lost. I'm lost.
I don't think he's gonna do that, which Doctor Strange. I don't think he's gonna do that. But I don't. If he still has that, I mean, of course, this has been completely different from Immortal Hulk. But if we're gonna go the route where he still has that abuse somewhere in there, then I don't know. Again, to answer that question, I don't know where Thor versus Hulk is gonna go.
I couldn't even begin to say. Bill says in Marauders annual #1, Brimstone reached out to a Judas in a letter. Is he referring to Moira, who was a Judas to the mutants in 10 Deaths? It's possible. Mm-hmm. It's possible. I don't know if that's who it was, because I mean, like I said, it's hard to say at this point. It very likely could be, because at the time all this fell out, we didn't really get all the reveals that we had gotten. So yeah, if it was anyone, Moira would probably be one of the first people I would look at. But also considering some things we've seen with everything else going on, I could easily think of someone else. Hell, it could be Abigail Brand for all we know. Considering everything that's going on right now.
I'm gonna let you put the camera on you real quick, because I gotta go run and I gotta go make a dash. But I want you to read this super chat real quick.
Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah, I will do that.
All right.
Anyway, here, let's take a look at this. Okay, so we got a super chat here. We got one from Lamar Rolak. This is actually, Blerd Club Diamond, 11 months. Says, congratulations on 150 episodes, Blerd and Carter. I just got my Savage Dragon. Said Fix, and I was wondering how you guys feel about King Spawn. Well, unfortunately, have not been reading it. I've not been reading it. But when Carter comes back, we can see what he thinks about it. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know anything about it. I've seen it. I've seen it on the shelves. I've seen it around. I really haven't been keeping up with it. I've really been keeping up with much of the Spawn stuff lately. I do actually read Spawn from time to time, but I just don't keep up with it the way other people do. Let's see. Jason Davison asked the question: who wins between Iska and Domino? I would say Iska. Largely because while their powers work similarly, luck only goes so far. And in the end, Iska seems to also be able to turn her... Well, I won't say turn her power off and on. She knows how to put herself in situations where she can negate her own power. Domino doesn't really consciously control her power, so I would give it to Iska every time. At least 9 times out of 10. But yeah, there it is. Let's see here. Let's go through some more of these. We got some more back here. And I guess while we're here, I do want to say there is something that I'll share with you while I have the calm for a moment. But we do actually have we have one of our own, one of our supporters of the channel that has been with us for a long time. And like I said, I normally don't do these things, so I don't recommend anyone making a habit of doing this. Because like I said, it's not something that that I just throw out there willy-nilly. But I will say, if any of you are fans of the channel, you love the community that we have built here, and everything that we stand for, I do want to put it out here that one of Earth's mightiest, who you guys probably see in the super chats and the channel memberships and in the and in the comments and everything, they recently reached out to me and hit me up, put me on game to a certain situation that's going on with them, and it's something that speaks to me, so I am going to share it. I'm going to put it here in the chat, and once this is no longer live, I will also we'll probably go ahead and make it a pinned comment. But this is a link. This is a link to a GoFundMe for one of our homies, Talali House, in the chat. And hey, if you have the time, please go by, check it out. And if you can, if you have the means, if you have the ability, go show some support. Like I said, it's something that, like I said, it's not something that I make an absolute habit of doing. But it is something that did speak to me. So I would definitely recommend, if you have the time, please, go take a look at it. That said, and I'm actually going to leave this up because I'm going to come back to this a little later and do what I got to do. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up.
Okay, doke.
Oh, you back?
Yep.
All right. Actually, here, let's do it that way. There we go. I'm looking through here. I'm trying to find, because I know we got some more in here. We're also gonna get to some questions from the Discord as well. I just haven't, for as unusual. Usually do those first, but I just happened to see questions that were already kind of on topic with what we were going with. So I'll answer the Discord ones here in just a moment. What's up?
I come in on people trying to save the chat. Repent or perish, for the kingdom is at hand.
Oh.
Believe in Christ and obey his commandments. Jesus is Lord. No.
Thank you, but no thank you. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Okay. Let's see. We got some more in here. It says, have you guys discussed the spoiler reveal of a new X-Terminators comic illustrated by Carlos Gomez? Who will be the writer? Leah, Alyssa, or Victor? I have no idea. This is first I've heard of it. I have not seen it. If it was announced today, I completely missed it.
It wasn't announced. It was something that got leaked. It was something that was spoiled on accident.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes it even more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. I guess, okay, yeah, because I'm actually looking through it now. Yeah, I don't see that one yet. That one I actually have to like legit look for. But I did see All Out Avengers. Apparently that's a thing. That's gonna be happening. Apparently, maybe, possibly. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't find it, but yeah. I mean, if it's a thing, I mean, I'll check it out. And let's see here. We got one from Gokon Shuri's baby's father with the $5 super chat. Which now I'm trying to figure out why it is not doing what I asked it to do.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let me see something real quick. Hold on.
Trying to do all this new shit and it messed you up.
It really did. It really did. Hold on. Let me make sure it's actually doing what it is supposed to be doing. Let's
right. Well, you do that. I'll go
yeah,
ahead.
Go ahead.
You think the Araco mutants will turn on Storm and kick her off the throne? So, I think that is something that could be a possibility, but I also think that that's why she's making a brotherhood.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things that popped in my mind, since they're all calling her the queen and not the regent that she wants to be referred to as. So just in case somebody tries some stuffs.
Right.
Ain't nobody fucking with my clique.
Right. Right. So, no, I 1,000%. I 1,000% agree with that. I don't know, for whatever reason, it is not letting me do what I want to do. So I guess for right now, I'm just not going to show them. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Or is it? I'm wondering if it's because I have something pinned. Maybe that might have. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not going to sit here and pontificate about it. Anyway, moving on along. Let's see here. Melman asks, Betty or Veronica? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not into blondes. I like brunettes and dark-haired women, so I'm gonna say Veronica. Sounds like she'd be more fun.
If he's talking about from Riverdale, Betty or Veronica, man, listen. That's a bad blonde right there, though.
Oh yeah, you know. I'm just saying. Let's see what else we got here. I'm trying to go back through and look and see what else we got going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, Thunderbird and X-Men Red was just everybody could catch him.
Oh yeah, Thunderbird didn't give a fuck.
I don't know why he was so mad, but everybody could catch it.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those things. Thunderbird was always kind of like quick to fly off the handle sometimes, but like that dude saw Vulcan, and I swear to God, he hit him with every ounce of everything he wanted to hit Cyclops with. Like, just.
And what have they? I was going to ask you, what have they done to him to make him so mad? Number one, number two, what the fuck did Vulcan do to act the way? Because I remember the last issue that I read with Vulcan in that X book. That man was just tired.
Yeah,
he was just kind of like chill, whatever kind of deal.
Jonathan Hickman, in his X-Men run, what they did was they revealed that when he got thrown into the Vault, he didn't die. And then it started raising the question, well, wait a minute, how did he get out of the Vault? Because then people started wondering, well, was he resurrected? Did they resurrect him somehow? And the real Vulcan is still trapped somewhere? Or?
They reference everything he did, but he wasn't that person anymore. But then you read this.
Yeah, he's back to being that person. They're going back to War of Kings, and it's. I mean, I don't know. The way I understood it was the alien creatures that found him in the Vault basically are the reason why he's out, and it seems like they messed with something inside of him, but we don't really know the full scoop on that. I talk about it in my video, just some of the musings during X-Men Red. Number one, I talk about it there a good bit, but yeah, it was a little weird. And then with Thunderbird, of course, I'm still not entirely sure. what the fuck was supposed to be going on?
Yeah.
with
I did
Thunderbird.
laugh when they brought up his brother,
Yeah.
who is still wearing that Crane and Yost X-Force costume from fucking decades ago for some strange reason. That was funny when they brought up his brother, because it's like, man, they not lying. No, your brother been in several books where you been at big time.
Yeah. Oh no. What was it when Cable said, "Didn't you have a plane to catch?"
What was that referencing?
That was how Thunderbird died. He was on there was a plane. Look, I know it sounds crazy. I'm actually gonna pull it up. Let's see if I got it.
That is why Cable is my favorite.
I'm actually pulling it up right now. Where's my...
That's cold, man.
Bruh, that shit was... Yeah, okay, here it is. I got it right here. Let me zoom this out because it's zoomed in way too much. So... For those who remember, it was X-Men, I believe it was like number 94, X-Men number 95. X-Men number 95. And then basically he hopped on a plane that was it was supposed to crash. And basically Thunderbird was like, "Nope, I'm risking my life. I am a warrior of the Apache. It is my job to protect the people." I forget why. It's been a long time since I've read it, but I remember the plane, for whatever reason, it was going to crash and it was going to kill a lot of people. And then here, let's see, I got this right here. Let me zoom this out some. And then the plane crashed and Thunderbird was still on it. And he has been dead ever since. This dude had been dead. This was back like in... God, when was this? It's been a minute. I forget exactly. I always have it in the back of my head, but like, yeah, he been dead for a long time. But that's why when Cable said, "Yeah, don't you have a plane to catch?" That's what he was talking about. He was talking about when Thunderbird caught it, because I'm no lie. Let me see. I'm actually gonna pull this up. I'm actually pulling up right now. When did X-Men Volume 1, number 95 come out? This was 1975. It was 1975. That motherfucker had been dead ever since. Now, he's come back. Like, they brought him back. Like, I think he came back during Chaos War, and I think he came back during the Corrosion, but it was always never, like, actual Thunderbird. It was like a ghost or a spirit, or it was like some kind of alternate reality or some other bullshit. It was never like, oh my God, Thunderbird's actually back. This dude has stayed dead for almost 40-some years. 30-some, 40-some years. And then they've had the power to resurrect mutants for like 2 years, and he only just now came back. They done named a whole plane after, which I thought now makes it even more fucked up now I think about it, that they named the Blackbird, they renamed the Blackbird after him and called it the Thunderbird. Now it makes it even more weird to me. I don't know why I never thought about that before. Oh my God, this dude. But yeah. It's Jason Davis said, and actually Jason Davis said exactly what I was kind of thinking about. Says, honestly, I kind of wish they would have left Thunderbird dead. Even back in the day, he was always kind of similar to Wolverine in terms of vibe and even abilities. Yeah, I mean, he was basically like, if you had Wolverine, and instead of having the butter knives coming out his hands, he had the daggers. He had the butcher knives. He had the butcher knives in his hands. But yeah, he had superhuman senses. He could he was a sensory mutant. I think he even had a healing factor. He was basically the same fucking thing.
Oh, we have a few of those here. You're not needed.
yeah. It's like, yeah, you can go ahead. You can run along. He said your family still dead. That was his Cable's. Your family still dead. Moon Knight moment. Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
No, which doctor saying? Thunderbird said, "Catch these hands." Cable said, "Catch this plane."
Bruh. I will say this though. Yeah. No. Yeah. Thunderbird, he can sense things. He actually kind of like the same way how Wolverine has superhuman senses. So does Thunderbird. He's also a trap. If I'm not mistaken, his power goes just beyond not just. His power goes beyond what is it? Just simple, oh, I can smell this or that. No, he actually can, like, 'cause there's a point where he even says, I don't need my superhuman senses to sense that the head is the snake is rotting, or the fish is rotting from the head down. He was talking about how messed up everything is with Krakoa and Araco and all that stuff. So yeah, he's got other abilities. But yeah, Thunderbird, yeah, he been gone. Matter of fact, I'm actually looking it up now. How many comics is Thunderbird has appeared in 40 comics, period, in life. And after okay,
in
so
life.
in life. So after X-Men 96, that was the last time we actually saw him. I think that might have even been a flashback. And he's popped up in like classic X-Men, which is basically just retellings of old X-Men stories. But yeah, everything else, it's either been a one-shot, a one-off. He wasn't actually alive. He was just being brought back for some whatever the fuck reason. And there it is. So there you go. But yeah, so yeah, there's that. Oh, goddamn. I did love it, though. I did love it. Let's move on to, let's get these questions from Discord, and then we'll head out. We got one from LJ Brown, says, Blerd without fear, Carter, in case you don't or have already covered this today, who would be your replacements for the DCEU Justice League scene as Ezra Chokovich threatened to kill a couple Millar is done in these DC streets, and the rest are practically on their way out. Sorry, Godot and Momoa fans. Here's the thing.
I don't think. Okay.
Oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, they're gonna say. I don't think he's on his way out. I think this is just problems that every human being has to deal with, and it's just something that we're gonna help him take care of. He is still our Flash. I think that's what we're going to see. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I think the obvious pick would be Grant Gustin, since he's been doing it for however many seasons on fucking CW, as opposed to them just trying to bring some new person in and expect everybody to like who that choice was. Because even though Ezra Miller has done what he has done, you're still going to have those people that all is forgiven. He just made a mistake. He's still my Flash kind of folks. I don't think Gal Gadot or Jason Momoa are going any fucking where. I think they're good where they at. Well, they may not be good where they're at, but they like that money that they're getting. So they're not going to just leave that for some possibility that they might get picked for something else down the line. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. But yeah, Grant Gustin would be the obvious pick, and they've already done.
That was my pick.
They've already done the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and those two have met each other. So it'd be something that would probably be like a bit of a smooth transition, but that man not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if they did, Grant Gustin would be my pick. He's already doing the work.
You see Ray Fisher back in DCEU before you see Ezra Miller go anywhere.
Yeah, you likely will. We got one from the Trifling Titan, says, what's good, Blerd and Carter? Glad to be back, seeing you Blessed Brothers doing your thing live. I've got a question for y'all. With Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness setting up to open up the multiverse wide open, what would y'all want to see the MCU do with concept? How would y'all want to see them play around with it in future projects? I can say for me that keep doing what they've been doing. Bring back the parts of properties we enjoy, which it seems like that's what they're probably doing. We've seen this with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Like the things that we liked about movies that weren't connected to the MCU, I think you should keep. The things we didn't like, I think you should leave. Ignore. Or just don't, or you can address them, but just don't, force us to have to deal with it. And then beyond that, I wouldn't mind seeing them. I know one of the things that the Russo said they wanted to do was Secret Wars. And by Secret Wars, they're talking about the 2015 Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, not the 1984 Marvel superheroes Secret Wars. Basically like doing a whole deal where the multiverse has been like kind of like remixed and all this random stuff is happening. Like, I can see them doing that based on what little bit we've seen of Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. What about you, Carter? What would you like to see?
Well, with you referencing Secret Wars, and since these two were hand in hand in Secret Wars, dude, I really want to see Doom.
Yes,
I
do.
really want to see Doom. And if any of you remember that Secret Wars from 2015, you realize that Doom and Strange, they were not basically with two peas in a pod almost. Strange was Doom's right-hand man during the Secret War stuff, and it wasn't like he was a mustache-twirling villain or anything like that. When he was confronted by all the other heroes, and like, why the hell would you have Dr. Doom run everything? He's like, well, he knows how to play God better than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, we were just trying to save as many people as we could. He was never a villain. He just oh God, better the devil you know kind of deal.
Oh yeah.
So that would be interesting to see. Plus, they've done several things together before Secret Wars. Doctor Strange was the one who helped Doom's mom get out of hell. So I think that would be a really cool dynamic to see this leading up to a Fantastic Four movie. Another thing I would really love to see would be something that I have referenced several times here. And it looks like we could be completely wrong in this, but it looks like that's what they did in Multiverse of Madness with the other Doctor Strange we see being from Marvel's What If. I would like to see more of that. One thing that I've brought up a lot is how they could very easily bring Miles Morales into the MCU proper live action, and you could basically just pull him from Into the Spider-Verse into here, because that's how trippy the multiverse is. You can pull people from here and bring them here. All that stuff still happened. That's just over here now. That would be something cool to see. We won't ever see that because they still got things to do with Tom Holland, but it really, I don't even know one thing I would actually pick, because there are several different routes they could take.
Right.
But I'm hoping they kind of do what Sony is trying to do. They just do it much better than Sony's doing it.
Yes, I would prefer that. Urban Prince of Strong Styles asks, or it says, good evening, Blerd and Carter. Do you think that do you think what Wonder Woman did in Injustice was worse than what Carol did in Civil War 2? I want to apologize for bringing up Captain Marvel Civil War 2 scandal, but I was reading Injustice comic, and I realized that Diana did way worse shit than Carol ever did, and it floors me how Diana can do the most fuck shit in Injustice, and her comics won't be affected by it. But Civil War 2 destroyed Captain Marvel's credibility with readers so badly for years that it took several series and tie-ins that were basically Carol Danvers' The Apology Tour. P.S. Loved the upgrade.
Well, I think that with Carol Danvers, the credibility and stuff was already gone. Just because you had a lot of people that, and you know, I know you've made the comment of how the reason you think a lot of people didn't respond well to Captain Marvel. I think another reason is, to me, now this is again to me, and to other people I know probably might feel that way. I don't really give a shit. I'm talking about from me. It was with the subpar writing. Like it really depended if we were going to get a good Captain Marvel story, because it really depended on who was writing it, and if it's like you and I talk about Bendis, what mood they were in. And so I think with a lot of people, it was just that those Captain Marvel stories were not written as well as they would have liked, comparing the character to how she was to what she turned into. They were expecting something a little bit more serious, and a lot of people just looked at it more so like she was. One complaint I'd heard was, you know how, and I think you and me coming from Memphis, we've seen this several times. You know how female officers will try a little bit too fucking hard because they have to prove that they're just as tough and are just as serious and can hold and can have authority just like the male police officers can. I think that's what happened with Captain Marvel, because I feel like she was written like that a little bit. That was not the same Miss Marvel in a more serious tone or a more serious role. She was more so written like, I got to show that I'm just strong and I can put my best foot forward as well as they can. The problem with that was it wasn't written well. It just seemed like what I think you said it before, like she was a Karen almost. I think Civil War 2 just put the final nail in that coffin. You are correct. Wonder Woman was a fucking nut in Injustice. But I think, and I don't mean for this to sound a certain way, I think the reason more people give flack to Captain Marvel was just because not a lot of people give a fuck about Injustice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't main DC, so no one gave a fuck.
Well, I will throw you a counter argument there. I think people give a fuck about Injustice. I think they give just a fuck enough about it that they just overlook it. Like, the people who love Injustice, they love it so much that they overlook Wonder Woman's misgivings entirely. A lot of characters' misgivings in that story, but at the same time, because Captain Marvel's not alternate universe, alternate reality, whatever, and then compounded, like, I mean, to be fair, with Captain Marvel, yes, we know. Yes, Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. Yes.
Why the fuck would I care about Injustice?
When you got that, yeah. I agree. Honestly, I would, if anyone ever asked me whether they should read Injustice or Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, I would pick Wonder Woman, Dead Earth every time. Versus most things, honestly. But no, in the case of Captain Marvel, because I went back, I read through all the stuff like with Kelly Sue DeConnick and and I think that Captain Marvel's, I mean, yeah, not everything was perfect. Excuse me, not everything was perfect. But I will say this, as a longtime reader of Carol Danvers as a character, her personality didn't really change all that much. She was kind of already that way as Miss Marvel. I think a lot of people just weren't used to seeing it. Because she does have moments of levity, but she is very serious. She's a very serious character. She does have moments of levity, and a lot of times with a sense of humor that's not that different than what you see in, like, Tony Stark. But, like, it just comes off different because she's a woman. And I've noticed a lot of times when women do things that are typically attributed with men, people tend to look at it differently than just it being what it is. They just look at it as, the perception of, oh, well, this is not how I expect a lady to act. But yeah, kind of going back through, like, hell, I still remember when she was thirsting after Spider-Man. And the horrible date that they went on that went terrible. And how she used to I guess the verbal banter that she had back and forth with, like, characters like Captain America. And she also went through some rough patches too, because she had bouts with alcoholism, same as Tony. She had to deal with losing her powers and shit.
Is this stuff that happened before Captain Marvel? Is this all Miss Marvel stuff?
This is all Miss Marvel stuff that happened with Miss Marvel. Matter of fact, and stuff that's been revisited since, because during Kelly Thompson's run, there was a point where she almost slipped back into alcoholism. And it's all stuff that's been addressed. But it's one of those things, honestly, a lot of the times I kind of feel like the people who don't like Carol Danvers or think that she has changed are people that probably didn't actually read comics that were hers, but they probably were more used to reading her in comics where she was a part of an ensemble. Like you probably,
a lot of people
like
have
Avengers
that
and
problem.
so forth. Yeah,
a lot of people have that problem with fucking Jessica Jones.
Yes,
because a lot of people, because they only think that's the chick that Luke Cage was putting it on and had a baby, because that's the way Bendis was writing her in New Avengers. You couldn't even call that girl a secondary fucking character. This is the character he made and he wrote.
Yeah.
But a lot of Jessica Jones shit, a lot of folks just know that's Luke Cage baby mama. Don't know what the fuck an alias is.
Yeah.
So
they've never read Alias. They've never read Alias.
You there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what there was actually, and that's kind of thing too, like in Alias, Jessica Jones was drawn to even kind of be more like an average looking woman. But like now, because of, and I mean, not just because of the TV show, because they were actually doing this before the TV show. You go like to Secret Invasion. They were drawing Jessica Jones to be more like, I don't want to say supermodel hot, but basically they drew her to be like a typical female superhero level of attractive. And it's like, okay. And then when the TV show came out, they doubled down on it. But there was a comic that came out not too long ago where they actually went back to the way Jessica Jones used to look. And it's like, yeah, a lot of people forget Jessica Jones is not supposed to be some like super like like thotty looking superhero looking woman. She's supposed to be like an average looking woman, like someone you would see, like if you went to the grocery store, you were, picking up shit for dinner, you would see her in the line right behind you, picking up shit. But yeah, like I said, I could go all day about it, but yeah, that's been my understanding of the situation. It's kind of like, Jessica Jones is a very good comparison to that. Yeah, if you didn't ever really read Miss Marvel comics or the Captain Marvel comics prior, whatever, or like I'm talking about the original Captain Marvel comics, like going back to when Marvel was Captain Marvel, I would forgive anyone for not understanding Carol Danvers' personality. I would completely forgive them because, yeah, she's written differently in Avengers comics versus her own comics or comics that she is in otherwise. Hell, Chris Claremont wrote her a little bit differently when she started hanging out with the X-Men versus what she was normally like in her own Miss Marvel comics or the Captain Marvel comics proper. And it wasn't even like a bad transition. Just, her personality kind of shifted a little bit. It is what it is. It's what happens when you get different writers. But I do agree, Kelly Sue DeConnick's run, not perfect, but there are lots of parts of it that I do like. And I think Kelly Thompson's probably the best that's written Carol Danvers in a long time. But yeah, Wonder Woman, I do not understand how people. It's kind of like how when someone gets canceled or someone attempts to cancel someone, a celebrity, and even you know what? There it is. You know what? I'll say it. Wonder Woman. She's the R. Kelly of DC Comics. There you go. Huh? There's hardcore evidence that she has done something terrible, and people still go out and buy them albums because it's Wonder Woman. It's R. Kelly. Remember, like when the sex tape came out for R. Kelly, and it was very clear this man was having sex with an underage girl. People were still loving that motherfucker, buying his albums.
I didn't know she was underage. I just knew if she didn't want to get peed on, she should have moved out of the way.
Well, no, there's that too. But I just thought it was funny how there were people who you'd be like, he got the tape out, right? Where he got the underage girl. And people were still out by, oh man, Chocolate Factory. Oh man, this album is scandal proof.
You ain't gotta talk about that one. You can go further on than that. We know about that shit. And what were you hearing on the radio nonstop? Happy people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Burn. Like, this is well after. This is well after.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people still supported R. Kelly despite the fact that they knew this dude was a whole pedophile. And he was grooming underage girls. People still did it. Hell, people still buy Drake
I'm still
albums.
trying to correlate Wonder Woman and R. Kelly.
But no. I'm just saying because she did what she did in Injustice, but nobody's like giving her the same shit that they give to Captain Marvel. Basically like, oh no, Wonder Woman's still great. She did nothing wrong. We're gonna pretend she did nothing wrong. But Ed Boy in the Cut asked, do you think we will ever get a completely new hero, not a legacy hero, introduced through the MCU? Think like Harley Quinn from Batman the Animated Series. I don't think we are going to get that anytime soon. I think it can happen.
They don't need to do any more new characters just because they don't know what to do with the ones they have.
Yeah.
Look who we getting now in Thunderbolts. When the last time any of y'all done seen Power Man?
True.
I'll wait. And we ain't talking about Luke Cage. We talking about the motherfucker that was introduced in Shadow Man of all places.
Yeah. We're talking about the newer one. Power Man, honestly, the last time I saw him was in Champions. And that was like right around the time of Outlawed. And then he
was in Champions?
Yeah, he was in Champions. He's been in Champions. He was one of the champions. Matter of fact, he is the reason why Outlawed happened. Because he shot a blast at this dragon, and it hit Viv Vision and overcharged her, and that's what caused her to explode. And everybody was telling him to calm the fuck down, and he didn't. Because that was something that kind of started with War of the Realms. They started teasing that in War of the Realms, and eventually his brashness caught up with him. But you don't really see him much outside of that. He pops up like here and there, usually just not really doing anything. But he was in the Champions up to a point. And then we got a last one here. Jay Dizzle says, happy 150, brothers. Y'all carried me through this here pandemic. I'm wondering if y'all can help me understand Beast personality evolution. Recent books make it plain that there has been a change in him, which I appreciate, but this dude went from cracking jokes in the 70s to dark beast to something in between. Prior to Hoxpox, has he been this grimy, or is there something sinister going on with him we don't know yet?
So this started back. Okay, well, let me, because somebody else asked this earlier, because they brought up Dark Beast. Here's the thing: Dark Beast was actually brought to the main Marvel continuity. First, he was in
was Age of Apocalypse, wasn't it?
Yeah, they brought him from Age of Apocalypse, but the thing is that was an Uncanny X-Force.
Yes.
So he was actually brought around that time, and he had just been kind of in the shadows a little bit, depending on what writer wanted to bring him back to the forefront. He wasn't brought back to the forefront until Matthew Rosenberg's X-Men run that was before all the Hoxpox stuff leading into it, where he was a member of that team.
He had mechanical legs.
Yeah, because he had gotten cut in half, I believe it was in Uncanny X-Force, and he was actually working with Mr. Sinister at that time. And I said it in chat because somebody, again, brought up Dark Beast. Dark Beast is dead. Dark Beast died before Hoxpox happened because he was killed by Ilyana Rasputin because of some experimenting he was doing. So...
And he's actually not the same. He's not. That's a different version of Beast.
Yeah, that's a different version. Yeah, that's a different version of Beast. This turn in Beast's attitude started in all new X-Men from Marvel. I want to say Marvel. No, it was all new. All different. It was all new, all different. That's if you want to know when this started. It was all new X-Men from Brian Michael Bendis. He was Beast actually brought the first year X-Men to the future, or to the main Marvel universe, because he was trying to show Cyclops the error of his ways, because around this time Schism happened. If you don't know what Schism is, it was basically Wolverine and Cyclops had a spat, married couple that they are, and they split teams. Wolverine had Wolverine and the X-Men, Cyclops had Uncanny X-Men. This is where all these Cyclops was right stuff came from. So basically, he didn't like the fact that he was trying to turn the kids into child soldiers. He didn't like anything that Cyclops was doing at that point. So that's where the attitude started. And it's slowly just been this thing to where he was dogging out Cyclops for what he did, even though he did some shady shit of his own, to the point where we are now, where he's doing shit Cyclops didn't even imagine doing.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close to anything Cyclops would have done. Matter of fact, Secret Empire. He was culpable in Secret Empire. He was working with Hydra Cap.
Okay, so, but yeah, if you want to see where it started, you can start with all new X-Men, and then you go from there all the way up until where we are now. It's been, he's the one thing that his character progression has been the one consistent thing that Marvel has been doing, to where he was this goody two shoes, and then with all new, all different, it was like, why the fuck would you do that? And then it progressed into the prick we have now, X-Force. So he's been gradually going this way. But go ahead.
No, it's hilarious to me though, just to think about, because I still think back to when Hydra Cap sunned him in front of everyone in Secret Empire, and I think Beast is still salty about that, because you remember, what was it? He said, you know why? Yeah, what was it? Because the hammer. He said, you know why I leave the hammer there? As a reminder. He's like, I can pick this motherfucker up whenever I want and lay waste to everything you got.
I remember how many people were still so salty that Hydra Cap picked up that hammer. And I think they changed it. That wasn't even that's what I didn't like. I think they changed it to where that wasn't even a real one.
I don't think it was. Or no, I think it actually was. I think it was. Well, no, you know,
I gotta go back and reread it.
I have to go back. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and reread it. It's really weird. Secret Empire is one of those stories that I was kind of iffy on it when I first read it, but the more I go back and think about it, I'm like, it actually wasn't bad. It actually was odd.
No, that shit was good. That shit was good. It had its moment.
It did some dumb shit every now and again, like all Marvel events are.
Hydra Punisher.
Yeah. Look, the Jew Hunter Jew Hunter Punisher. That's basically what he was. He was the Cape Hunter. He was Cape Hunter. He was basically going out looking for which by the way, I love the fact that Frank is still trying to live that one down.
Yeah, they will not let him forget that he did that.
Look, I still remember when
for
all
the
same Avengers
reasons he's in the hand right now is the same reason he was doing it in Secret War.
Yeah.
It was to get bring his wife back.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember the entire Avengers squad pulled up on this dude. It was like, nah, you got to answer. You got to answer.
And all that did was get Hydra Cap released.
Yep, that's all it did. That is literally all it did. Let's see here. We got a couple of super chats here. We got one from Gokon Shuri's baby's father with a $2 super chat. Says, you keeping up with Diana and the Amazons at DC? Talking about Wonder Woman Historia? The Amazons, talking about that one? I did read that. The second issue, I think, came out. It's been really good. It's a very interesting story. Very interesting story. If that's the one you're talking about. Oh, goddamn. But no, we got another here. This is actually a channel member. This is Jonathan Moda coming through with 16 months. Says, I like the new Beast, but I don't think we have the full picture. We have to let it go its course. But I have to call out the inconsistencies across the book. Where is Hydra Cap? Parole him soon. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing with Beast. The reason why we're seeing those inconsistencies, I think, is because... For one, I think Beast has lost his whole mind, because I think they even brought up a point where they say he's never even actually sleeping, which I don't know if any of y'all know this, but if you don't sleep over a certain course of time, you go so many days or hours without sleep, you will actually legitimately go crazy. Yeah, Hydra Cap, I think we actually brought this up the other day.
We literally just said it. He got broken out of prison in Matthew Rosenberg's Punisher run because the Avengers were going after Frank.
Right.
And through all this random chicanery. Yeah.
Whatever came of that, though? Whatever. Did we ever get anything else out of that?
Nothing.
Because I don't even think... Did he even pop up in the coats? Captain America? I don't even remember he popped up in... Because I haven't finished it. Nope. If he popped up, I don't remember. I didn't make it.
That book was a lot more about them bringing back Red Skull.
Yeah, because I have the first. I've got the first volume of the Coates Captain America. I need to get the other. There's two more, I believe. Yeah, but
Matthew Rosenberg's Punisher run.
Yeah,
Frank was trying to kill Baron Zemo because of the Secret Empire stuff. Got confronted by Luke Cage and those Avengers, and various fucking things. Baron Zemo ended up in that whole hullabaloo. Hydra Cap got broken out of prison. So nothing's come of that yet that I'm aware of.
Was it Bill says Dark Beast technically Beast Null, and is it weird that nobody coined the term Nulverine in 10 Lives? I mean, I feel like your Beast, his Dark Mirror, definitely his Dark Mirror. I don't know if I go as far as to call him as Null, but yeah, Nulverine is something that I'm actually surprised even my punny ass didn't come up with when I was doing the video for it. But I did like the fact that they addressed. I love how sometimes Null just kind of pops up. Even though the motherfucker's gone, he just kind of pops up every now and again. Just as like, hey, that motherfucker's still out there somewhere, maybe. You actually, I think it's 3 days. 3 days without, if you go more than 72 hours without sleep, that is when and I know this because I've done this before, and I don't recommend it to anybody. Drugs are terrible sometimes. But yeah, you will start to kind of lose your shit. But that said, that's the show. Carter, what you got going on, pimp? You got anything going on? Any projects? Anything you want to put out there?
Twitch.tv/Carter Presents. May 13th, we will be live and in full effect because that's when Evil Dead the game comes out.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that shit.
I'm going to be playing that nonstop. I'm going to be streaming that nonstop, so get all of your fucking Prime subs ready because, again, I need a new chair. there's something else that's going to be happening down the pipeline with Blerd and myself that we're not going to talk about anymore. I just want that little tidbit in y'all head right now. But yeah, May 13th is when I will be back on Twitch and streaming. I'll probably be doing Twitch streams and then just putting those on YouTube for people to watch.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, just like you all can show up for these Blerd caves, I got to show up for those Twitch streams.
There you
go. I gotta show up for these fucking YouTube highlights and stuff like that. If y'all don't show up, then I'm not showing up. And I would much rather not have to put my face on and put on all of this luxuriousness if I ain't got to. So if you want to see me playing stuff and streaming shit, I got to show up for it. And appreciate the people that do. But yeah, that's the only thing for me. So yeah, next month I'm gonna be Evil Dead, the game crazy. Have you seen that footage I put in that Discord?
Yes, I have. I'm hyped for it. Actually, I'm looking forward to playing the game. Like, and not to mention it'll be a nice breath of fresh air. That's how you know I'm tired. I need to get the fuck out of here. But anyways, that said, that is the show. We getting up out of here. We will see you all next time, and hopefully y'all are taking it easy, keeping it plus ultra out there in these streets. Peace, Bamf.
Bye.